designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, they're annoying and they will not leave us alone. And I'm not talking about robocalls. We're talking about this. Midge flies, you've probably seen them. Experts say they're the sign of a bigger problem. The flies around cars and buildings around Billy's Creek and the Caloosahatchee River are actually here year-round. And while they're not dangerous to people, Lee County Mosquito Control District says the flies indicate poor water quality.
It is kind of a cyclical thing, so you have a time when they emerge out of the water due to the nutrient load and just a lot of organic matter at the bottom. But they come up, they're pretty annoying, and then after a period of time they go away.
They are annoying. They look lethargic when they're around you, don't they? Well, experts say if water quality and if fewer nutrients are put in the water, the flies should start to go away.
You got to see this. A man is lucky to be alive, and you can see why. This video shows a dramatic rescue after his car bursts into flames. It's going to happen in just a second. All this happening at the Hendry County Speedway. There you see it to start catching fire. Driver Devin Register says he's alive thanks to a good Samaritan. He was going around the track when the car burst into flames. His steering wheel got stuck and the windows would not open. He thought he was about to die when Ernie Turner came to the rescue.
My main thing was trying to make sure he gets out of the car with no injuries.
I really appreciate what he done for me. I mean, not many people is going to dive face first in a fire to get somebody they don't even know out of a car.
And luckily, he escaped with just a few burns and scratches. He's okay. He does plan to race again. In fact, he's going to get back on the track this weekend, but in a different car.
It's incredible what people will do in those types of moments, isn't it? Finally, safe to fly, or are you better off driving? Ahead at 6 o'clock, why experts say a plane is actually the better option in some cases. What to know before you plan that trip.
Plus, anxious to get your vaccine, and they know it. New at 6, do not open an email that looks like it's from Pfizer until you hear this message.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jonathan France. See your future in 2020. We know that weakened vision can limit our ability to enjoy day-to-day activities. And with the clear advantage of the Panoptix lens, seeing without glasses for distance driving, computers, and reading is now possible. This is the first and only trifocal lens that is designed to be used to help people get 20/20 distance, near, and in between. Most importantly, I've been doing cataract surgery for over 30 years. Trust me when I say this to you, experience matters. Quality outcomes matter. Reputation matters. And most importantly, I want you to know that I'm going to treat you like a member of my own family. You deserve to see your future in 2020.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Where do designers store their clients' furniture when doing an estate home remodel? Rice's Moving and Transport enables. With over 10,000 square feet of air-conditioned storage space, designers use Rice's Moving and Transport for one reason: trust. They know Rice's Moving team will pad wrap and inspect all articles carefully, then securely store them. Contractors use Rice's during a remodel to store customers' personal items too. Upon completion, everything is then returned to your home, completely unpacked and carefully reassembled. Another important point to consider when selecting a mover is this: only a handful of moving companies actually follow all the laws. Many moving companies simply pay employees in cash. This creates an issue for you as they are not insured. If there's an accident, you're responsible. So if you're planning a whole home or condo remodel or need help moving and storing your treasured furniture and valuables, trust Rice's Moving and Transport, fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
Hi, it's Kelly and Joseph Edison from Southwest Florida's own Closet Factory.
How do we build the smartest organization solutions in town?
To start, we get to know you on a personal level, which means we know who and what your solution is for.
Then we make it real through old-fashioned craftsmanship and remarkable building technology.
Thousands of organization transformations that create more time, space, and peace every day.
That's how we build it. Let us help you solve your storage need. ClosetFactory.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
They've yet to identify the accused gunman. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, the morning after the mass shooting in a Boulder, Colorado supermarket.
We were single file, just, somebody had their hand on my back, I had my hand on somebody's back, and we were just saying, go, 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 run.
He and others got out alive. 10 did not, murdered inside the store.
One of those 10 people who died, Officer Eric Talley, who was the first on scene. He was 51 years old, a father of 7 kids, with the youngest being just 7 years old. Authorities are calling his actions heroic, holding a procession where first responders from all over the area saluted him, and his body was taken away.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Boulder. A suspect is in custody, perhaps a shirtless and bleeding man seen being taken away in cuffs. AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine may need more scrutiny. U.S. federal health officials put out a statement this morning. AstraZeneca may have used outdated information when it reported U.S. trials showing the vaccine, not yet approved here, was 79% effective against COVID with no hospitalizations or deaths. Biden advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci also hailed this.
An in-depth search of the database for venous thrombosis revealed no events in this study.
In other words, no blood clots. There were concerns after rare cases in Europe. President Biden will go to Ohio today to push the benefits of the COVID financial aid package that no Republicans supported as too big and not COVID related. Now, the House has voted to extend the PPP small business loan program 2 more months. The Senate's expected to approve it too. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says they've already made changes
to expand eligibility and access to nonprofits, to hard-hit independent venues, and to make it easier for the smallest, most underserved businesses to get relief.
It's down to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Undefeated top seed Gonzaga among the teams that won yesterday advancing. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
A hit-and-run crash in Lehigh Acres at Sunshine Boulevard and West 17th is slowing traffic at the intersection. Also delays building in Lehigh Acres on 23rd west of Sunshine towards Gunnering. No surprise there. Easy way to navigate around this. Just stick to State Road 82. 8th or even Lee Boulevard. If you're in East Lehigh, normal congestion on Jaguar heading towards Columbus, but we're still great on Corkscrew Road between 82 all the way to I-75. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, across Southwest Florida, we're going to warm up notably, going from the 50s this morning to the 80s by the second half of today. You'll surely see more sunshine here on Tuesday, especially compared to what we had over the weekend. But looking ahead to temperatures close to 90 as we wrap up the work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
Being a letter carrier and walking 20,000 steps, which equals up to about 10 miles a day, it's tough. I really didn't have feet problems, I had back problems. I had had as many epidurals that I could possibly have in 1 year. That was scary. Well, I'd been delivering letters to the Good Feet store for over 6 years, and the expert there finally convinced me to try their arch supports.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Keith actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
The people at the Good Feet store really educated me about what the arch supports could actually do. And lo and behold, I have no more back problems. The future I can see now. I couldn't see it before. Where I would be without them, I have no clue. I'm Keith, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers.
Hot out today, huh?
You know it.
Glad the AC's working.
No kidding.
What if the AC quit?
Oh, man.
Couldn't do a thing inside then.
Too hot.
No way Ashley could do her homework in here.
Hard to concentrate.
Wouldn't even bother trying to study.
Well,
Of course her grades would slip.
Dave.
She could kiss Harvard goodbye.
Dave.
Probably end up at the U. Oh, my little girl.
Dave!
What?
What's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, best case, I make one call, AC's back up and running right away, everything's fine.
That's best?
Oh, sure, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have 4 AC trucks standing by waiting for you to call, loaded with parts, ready to go.
Right now?
Right now.
Huh. Sure is hot out today.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
So, you're saying...
She can still go to Harvard.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you want the ability to adjust your loan options in real time, Rocket can.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. Thank you for watching the program and your comments and reactions each and every day. We do appreciate that. And your texts, of course. Coming up this morning, a busy morning. Jen Psaki trying to explain a lot of things. I guess the wind is the reason now why the president of the United States fell going up the flight of stairs on the way to Air Force One. That's an interesting way to spin it. Speaking of spinning, a lot of spinning about what's going on with border and the border security and of course, kids in cages when it was kids in cages during the Obama administration really wasn't. And then the Trump administration, it's kids in cages. And then now it's not kids in cages, even though there's photographic evidence now that there's kids in cages. But of course, that will be spun. And as only you can get from Jen Psaki, and we'll have that coming up. What's that? She's doing what?
I'll circle back.
She'll circle back. So we'll get to that coming up. Also, why is Kamala Harris in Florida cracking up when asked if she's going to visit the border? She thinks somehow it's funny that she would be asked about visiting the border. Is that really what happened? Well, we'll have the audio and you'll find out for yourself. And not only that, but this morning we're going to talk about Hr1. We're going to get into that discussion. Of course, the important thing to know is that there is a lot of things that are happening not only in Tallahassee. Spencer Roach is going to join us at 7:35 to talk about some of the bills that he has been working on there because, of course, Southwest Florida and the state of Florida and the importance of watching what's happening in Tallahassee to keep an eye on all the news. Plus, legislatively in Washington, D.C., the discussion about Hr1, the discussion about more stimmies. Listen, the stimulus, the $1.9 trillion in the stimulus is just the beginning of what will be pushed. And now there's a narrative in place, and it's very, very simple. And when you see it in action, now you know it. And it's this. Democrats have figured it out. That if they take something that is 9% COVID and 91% porculus and present it to you as a COVID relief package, and everybody continues to talk about it as a COVID relief package, then they can get away with the polling, with the American people looking and saying, how can you deny us COVID relief? We need COVID relief, even though just a very, 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 did I mention very, very, very small portion of it goes towards it. But now they get to push and spend and change fundamentally the way this country is set up. You want to talk about being France. You want to talk about being socialist. You want to talk about how you can fundamentally change the country. It's by doing what Democrats are now doing, which is to push all of these bills moving forward. Listen, infrastructure is next. $2 trillion. President Trump talked about infrastructure. Don't you want infrastructure? Aren't you looking at your roads and your bridges and some of the things that should be fixed, bicycle paths and the like? We should all have this, right? The problem is when you dig in, you see that what Democrats are doing is that they're couching all of these bills and everything that they're trying to push forward in the House and leading its way to the president's desk through the Senate to make it seem like it's something that you've always wanted, and it's very obvious when only a small portion of it is going towards that, and the rest of it is going to fundamentally change the country. And to spend money that we don't have, our kids don't have, our grandkids don't have, but apparently nobody cares. So they've skillfully done this, and they're trying to get this in and done as quick as possible, not only before people start to realize the game, but also because 2022 is just around the corner. And man, you want to talk about fundamentally changing? Well, there's an opportunity to stop the fundamental change of the left in this country if in 2022 we can win back the House and certainly the Senate. And everything is close and nothing is for sure and nothing is certain. And even when it comes to the idea that many of you have about rigged elections and what happened in 2020, and there's no hope and there's no use, that is not true. There's always hope. There's always opportunity. We are wiser than those that are trying to push against us. And we tell them what to do. And since when are we sitting back and allowing all this to take place and taking our ball and going home? We're not doing it. It's not going to do it. All right, the other thing is, I wanted to touch on this certainly this morning. 10 dead, Colorado at the supermarket shooting. How horrific and horrible this is. It's developing. And even in the state of Colorado, the talk right now is that this shooting, the Boulder Police Chief, Maris Harold, talked about it yesterday and saying that it's complex, this investigation would take no less than 5 days to complete. And there's no motive of the shooter right now. They have no details on this yet. They didn't reveal a weapon yet used or possible connections between a gunman and people that were shot. It's going to take a little while. It's going to develop, and we're going to get more information. And as we do get the more information, certainly we'll be talking about it in the next few days. But what a horrific scene. 10 people dying, including a police officer, shooting at a Boulder, Colorado supermarket. 51-year-old Eric Talley, Boulder police officer since 2010, died in the shooting. Among the first police officers to respond to the scene. From what I understand, the response was quick. And again, we'll continue to keep an eye on this story. And it is horrific. The politics of it, we can save for another day. But certainly, just a horrible situation there in Colorado. And if you've been on social media, you've probably witnessed it for yourself, where in this day and age, nothing happens. Nothing at all happens without people being on social media and there being some presence of video, audio. And so, again, just a horrific situation there in Boulder, Colorado, and one that is certainly top of the hour, Fox News, and that we will continue to follow. Jake, let's take a break right now. And when we come back, I wanted to dig into some of the issues that are going on this morning. Kamala Harris in the state of Florida. We're going to talk about that more because she seems to think it's funny about visiting the border. Jen Psaki trying to spin out of a situation that's going on along the border that we all know about. But there's a deeper issue that's going on here. And where people are looking at the media and saying, well, listen, they're all coming around now. It's interesting how all of a sudden when the media is shut out and it's a Democrat administration doing it, they're like, wait a minute, we're on the same team. Why are you shutting us out? And there's an answer to that. It's an answer that I don't think anybody else is talking about, but I will, and I'll bring it up, and we'll see what you think. 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A hit-and-run crash in Lehigh Acres at Sunshine Boulevard and West 17th is slowing traffic at the intersection. Also delays building in Lehigh Acres on 23rd west of Sunshine towards Gunnering. No surprise there. Easy way to navigate around this. Just stick to State Road 82 8th, or even Lee Boulevard. If you're in East Lehigh, normal congestion on Jaguar heading towards Columbus, but we're still great on Corkscrew Road between 82 all the way to I-75. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock. Temperatures warm up this afternoon to close to 80 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A study shows America's richest citizens dodge taxes on far more income than the government thought. The National Bureau of Economic Research says the nation's richest 1% use sophisticated schemes to hide 21% of their annual income. Meantime, another study predicts you won't be able to bank in your neighborhoods by 2034, that all bank branches will disappear by then. That's according to two online banks, also known as neobanks, N26 and Varo Bank. The first tweet sent by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey in 2006 sold for about $2.9 million in the digital certificates known as non-fungible tokens, or NFT. On Wall Street, the Dow gained 103 points. The Nasdaq rose 162. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Businesses that run like clockwork establish routines they trust. That's why over 1 million companies rely on Cintas. We'll help you protect employees and customers with essential safety supplies, inspect your fire protection systems and devices, hygienically launder your uniforms, and keep you well-stocked with the leading hand sanitizers and disinfecting wipes. Learn how Cintas can help you open your doors with confidence.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the work.
Indeed knows unexpected demand can stretch your business thin.
Leon speaking.
Like at Leon's Plumbing.
Sorry, quickest we can get there is next Friday.
To stay out of hot water, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Is your car a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it? Would you rather be driving a brand new Nissan equipped with all the latest technology and safety features? Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. If your trade-in is a 2012 or newer, yes, a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, we'll give you the original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Bring us that old Chevy, Honda, Toyota, Ford. We don't care where you bought it from. We don't care if you bought it new or used. Go to NaplesNissan.com. Pick out your favorite new Nissan model with Bluetooth, backup camera, and that new car smell. You can have it all today after we pay you what you paid for your trade-in. Don't wait. Get full details at NaplesNissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Let Naples Shutter enhance your home's beauty and increase its value. From our legendary all-wood plantation shutters made right here in Naples for over 40 years, to luxurious blinds and shades, to the unique island appeal of Bahama shutters, Naples Shutter has you covered with a lifetime guarantee and over 40,000 satisfied customers. Call 239-566-8161 today for a free estimate. That's 239-566-8161 or visit NaplesShutter.com.
A refreshing swim in your pool shouldn't be interrupted by cloudy water, a broken heater, or faulty equipment. Healthy Pools of Southwest Florida keeps your oasis ready to enjoy every day. Their experts complete a 20-point checklist at each visit, keeping your pool healthy and protecting your investment. Relax knowing your pool is in good hands. Call 239-425-0300 right now and receive your first month free. That's 239-425-0300 or HealthyPoolsSWFL.com. Healthy Pools is a for God and country company.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy has reopened and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line, drewsteele.com, the website if you want to watch. Steele has 3 E's. We always appreciate you doing that. Facebook, you can still watch at Drew Steele Radio. You know, the president he's been on a couple of different places lately talking about the border and a lot of other issues as well. He was on with Lisa Booth. She's got a podcast. Her first guest on the podcast was the former President Trump. And he is apparently making the rounds to talk about the border issue. It is a big deal. Some would say it's huge. And the president, this is pretty funny. The president being asked by, who was it? It was yesterday. What was it on Fox? And was it Outnumbered? I forget which program it was. And this is classic. Listen to this, because here you have a lot of people who want to hear from the former president, especially what's going on along the border and this crisis that is happening. That is not the former president's fault as much as this administration wants to make it seem that way. Harris Faulkner asked this question on Fox News yesterday. Listen to this.
Before I let you go, just real quickly, most presidents, ex-presidents like yourself, do not weigh in at this level.
You know, talking about the crisis along the border and other issues as well, right?
Why did you feel like you needed to on this issue?
Well, you called me. I didn't call you, in all fairness. But
you called me. I'm sitting here at Mar-a-Lago. I'm disappointed to see what is going on along the border. I'm concerned. You called me, so I'm answering your questions. You want to know why I'm getting involved? Because you called. I don't know. That's so classic. So classic Trump. But there is something else before we get into the spin of what's happening along the border, and really the one big important issue that it seems like everybody is avoiding, and it's that the media now is shocked and surprised and appalled that an administration would all of a sudden lock them out. The media, we're on your side. How dare you do this? Lock them out from the border to be able to see what exactly is happening, the transparency that they're not getting and the shock. But also to realize that the Democrat Party and the leadership right now, and even at the top in the White House, they could care less about the media. They got you. You're not going anywhere. And they're using you. You're a bunch of useful idiots. Can I say that, Jake? Am I allowed to call the media useful idiots? The fake news legacy media, you bunch of useful idiots. You thought, you continue to think that the hard left, this administration, those that are behind the scenes pulling the strings, you think that they're not going to do anything to you because you're on their side? You're useful idiots. They'll use you as long as they can, and I can prove it, and that's coming up. But Red State brought this up in an interesting article about the former president. Donald Trump blows up the last great hope for Democrats in 2020. So what was that? Everybody knows, and even Democrats do, on the Hill, that Republicans are ready to take over the House. Even redistricting alone across the country, they know it. They know that 2022 is when, just like that, everything changes. The historical fact that midterm elections, you know how it is. In a midterm, it always goes against the president. We've seen this before. We've seen it with Donald Trump. We know what happens, and sometimes it's really, really ugly. And I think Democrats believe, and they know that the writing's on the wall, that it's going to get ugly. And so what did Donald Trump do that has Democrats really, really worried? And it's something so simple. One thing that Democrats were hoping for is that the former president was just going to go scorched earth, that he was going to look at every single person that ever said a bad thing about him, every single person that he's had an issue with personally, and just go scorched earth and does not care not one bit about the party. And Caitlin Collins, who is it was a CNN reporter, right? Regarding the midterms, Trump said he will endorse people even if, quote, they've said something a little bit off color with respect to me. I can handle that if they voted our way. Let's just put it this way. That's not what Democrats want to hear. They want to hear the former president going scorched earth, going against the party. Former president is looking right now at opportunity, not only for Republicans in the House and the Senate 2022, the elections, and even moving into 2024, knowing full well that 75 million people voted for him. And those kind of numbers are astronomical. But, of course, the 847 that voted for Joe Biden, because, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. And you can't make a case that it was fraudulent in any way. I can't even say it. I just did. But anyway, I digress. The other part is that the president knows full well that MAGA is alive and well, and that Republicans do see and are looking at individuals now and want to know that Republicans are fighting for what their constituents want, for what's best for the country. And know the rhinos when they see it, know the establishment when they see it. They know it full well, just like the former president was able to put on display how the fake news media operates by calling them fake news. And you know what that resulted in? That resulted in everyone being able to see what they do and what they've been doing for the longest time without any pushback. Well, isn't it the same thing with the party? Isn't it the same thing with the president, the former president? Calling out at the time all of those that were establishment Republicans that really weren't in it for the fight, that were just in it for themselves, that really were not the ones that you necessarily want back in those seats. And he's like, look, even if some people said some bad things about me, if they voted the right way, we're good. And that drives Democrats crazy because they want, oh man, do they want there to be trouble within the party. Right now, they're not seeing it. That's why a lot of the things that they're doing are being pushed hard right now, including Hr1, including transportation, infrastructure bills. We'll get to that coming up and more this morning. But when we come back, Jen Psaki and the spin of the century. I mean, she is spinning so much. I don't know, make a reference to spinning a lot, that whatever you can think of. Well, we'll explain coming up. All on the border.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
I cannot tell you how awesome it is when my family comes over and I say, you're going to get great tasting water straight from your faucet. I'm telling you, it's great on your skin, your hair, and your appliances. Think of what your water is doing now. Well, you should call now for your free multi-point Pentair water test. And I'm telling you, you're going to love the way your water tastes with your new Pentair water system. Every faucet in your house, it's the coolest thing ever. And there's a big difference when you call a Pentair water specialist. When you give Max a call at Pentair, trained, uniformed experts in our city and well water, that's a big deal, right? With their mobile showroom, you're wondering what you're going to get. A wide range of water treatment options, and you can see them in front of you. They install you new Pentair. All right, good morning. The morning club is here. The morning club's here. Jake is over there. Oh, look. Oh, Jake's going to come over to say hi. Come here, Jake. Come here, Jakey Jake.
Hang on.
No. Come here, Jakey Jake.
What's up?
Say hi to everybody. So it's the morning club. Look at Jakey Jake.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, there's Jakey Jake. All right, he's going. All right, where are you running to?
Food.
Your food? Oh, all right. He doesn't have a lot of time. He's got to go get some food. All right. Let's say good morning to everybody who's here. November Ribble. Good morning, November. Good to see you. Terry Dickinson is here. Good morning. Good morning. Of course, Gator Lynn is here. Happy good morning. Michael Artman is here. Look at you. He's like an angel. He's an angel. All right, Ann, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good to see you here. Who else is here? Yeah, Travis was saying that, ceiling fans spin a lot. Some crazy spin from Jen Psaki. You know, the kind of fun stuff you're used to hearing. Good morning, Donna. Good to see you. How are you today? Let's see. Oh, look at you. Of course, Miss Psaki is spinning a lot because, after all, she's always circling back. Look at you, Gary. See? Somebody's got to have a sense of humor because it's not me. Marcia, good morning. The cat with the mustache. I don't know if is that a mustache or a nose? Is that the cat's mustache? I'm not really sure. Morning, Trev. Good to see you. Good morning. Let's see. Jessica's here. Good morning, Jessica. Good to see you, Ed. Good morning, Ed. Ed M. Great to see you all here this morning. My morning crew getting up early with me. By the way, if you're watching right now and you're wondering what's going on, if you're there on Facebook or you're on YouTube or if you're at drewsteele.com, we've got a little crew that's with us each and every morning. They get up bright and early. So we just like to say hi on the stream. All right. Doug said, spinning like a top. You bet. Okay. That's his nose, but he has a beard. I can't see the beard. Oh, Jake's back. Let's see what kind of nutritious meal. Let's see what nutritious meal you're eating this morning. What do you have? Do you want me to show? Let's show everybody. Here's Jake's nutritious breakfast, everybody. It's beef jerky and coffee. Breakfast of champions.
Hey, if I had Wheaties, I'd eat those, but we don't have.
Why don't you just here? Can I make a suggestion to you? This is father-son arguing on air. You ready? Why don't you just bring a box of cereal and leave it here?
I'm not allowed to keep mine. We're supposed to have food in the studio.
Well, then keep it in the car. Why don't you just keep something in the vehicle, something that's zip-locked or something, and just leave it in the car?
Well, for a while, I used to get like bags of peanuts and like.
No, peanuts aren't good. That's not
well,
good
like
breakfast.
Almonds.
But something with, even a breakfast cereal that has vitamins and minerals that are part of it, like one of those kid cereals that kids. I try,
but it's just I'm always so dead whenever I wake up in the morning.
How about I'll bring you something? You like Life cereal? Mikey likes it. Mikey likes it. You know, Mikey who died of eating Pop Rocks?
What?
Mikey from Life cereal died of eating Pop Rocks. It's a wives' tale. It's not true.
That's weird.
I'm not weird.
Not you.
Oh, all right.
Kind of weird.
Okay. All right. Oh, look at it. RJ, do you work for Geico, or is that you just like the Geico gecko? Okay. What can we get Jake to have for breakfast that's not beef jerky that he could, I don't know, leave in his car, have some nutrition of some kind that, I don't know. All right, stick around, everybody. Good to see you, and we'll be back in just a bit. Sorry I'm having my off-air discussion with Jake, but we'll be back.
Patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, across Southwest Florida, we're going to warm up notably, going from the 50s this morning to the 80s by the second half of today. You'll surely see more sunshine here on Tuesday, especially compared to what we had over the weekend. But looking ahead to temperatures close to 90 as we wrap up the work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling tip of the day. Kobe Cooling has been around a very long time. It's spelled kind of funny, too. K-O-B-I-E, K-O-O-L-I-N-G. There's other companies out there with similar sounding names, but there's only one Kobe Cooling. If you want the one and only Kobe Cooling, dial 239-482-1542. The only completely NATE certified mechanic staff in South Florida. So remember, if you want the company that's been voted the best year after year, you want Kobe Cooling. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in this business since 1949. 239-482-1542.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Let's face it, when things start to return to normal, it's not going to be our normal. Too much has changed. The way we work, the way we shop, the way we learn. When the pandemic hit, we had no choice except to adapt to new ways of working and living. And even with the hope of a vaccine that works, the world is different than it was a year ago. It's the same with investment and retirement planning. And you probably know it deep down. Your old plan needs to adapt to meet a changed world. But how? Annex Wealth Management can help. It starts with a call. With one call, you can start seeing your future more clearly. If your financial picture is cloudy because you're getting conflicting tax, investment, and estate planning advice, help is a call or a click away. Annex Wealth Management's team works to get your investment plan in line with your tax plan and your estate plan. Build confidence with one team working to create one comprehensive plan as a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Wealth Management. One team, one plan, one fee. AnnexWealth.com.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment. We've got you covered.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. You can go there right now. And anytime you want to watch the program, you can also go to Facebook if you'd like. We're still there at Drew Steele Radio. And again, don't forget, Steele has 3 E's, which we all remember, I hope and think. Hey, remember a time when Kamala Harris didn't chuckle or laugh or say something, and the reason why she would do that is because she was uncomfortable about talking about a conversation? Yeah, neither do I, because she always does that. So this was a really odd moment. Why is Kamala Harris here in the state of Florida? She is here to pitch something that's already passed. Like, why would you come here? And she had a tweet out. I'm trying to see where the tweet is. And I had it. I saved it. Oh, I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Yesterday, about 12 hours ago, so 6 o'clock last night, Vice President Kamala Harris. Hey, Florida, help is here. And there's a picture of Kamala Harris standing, getting ready to walk off the plane, and she didn't fall or anything. She's fine. Everything is good. Nothing to see here. It's no problem.
Not a joke.
Okay, easy. So she's here. We're here, everybody. And, typically, don't you go someplace to tout something that you're trying to convince the people in the state of Florida or across the country that you should support instead of showing up in Florida when it's already passed, which seems kind of odd. It seems kind of weird. But, Kamala Harris doing that. So she flies to the state of Florida. She's here. She's in Jacksonville. And, touting something that's already passed, which is pretty easy to do. And so now you have Kamala Harris getting off the plane and then being asked about the border crisis. Very serious, something that we're all concerned about. We know that the media is concerned about it. They don't like the fact that there's not a lot of transparency with this administration. So what about this? Maybe you're on a plane, you're here in the state of Florida. What better place to be during a border crisis if you're the vice president than in Florida, in Jacksonville, to pitch something that's already passed? No. There's a crisis. Shouldn't you be there? Shouldn't you be showing leadership? Leadership? No, we don't do that here. So when asked about it, what did she say?
Do you have plans to visit the border? Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
Yeah, not right now. I'm in Florida. I can only go to one place at a time. What are you people doing to me? Come on now. What's going on with you? It's funny, right? You hear how she laughs. She's got that awkward laugh. It's like when you that awkward laugh that somebody does when they don't want to be confronted with something that makes them uncomfortable to speak about. Yeah, so there she is. And now it's kind of funny, the border crisis. It's, we'll get to it. I'll get there sooner or later. I'll get there eventually. Yeah, people want you there, especially when now we have Democrats. Cuellar, the Democrat from Texas, border town, who has given exclusive photos from inside a U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the temporary overflow facility in Donna, Texas, reveal the crowded makeshift conditions at the border as the government's long-term child shelters and family detention centers fill up. And the pictures of the kids, not in cages because there's technically no fencing. It's clear they can see. It's more like plastic sheathing. So it's not cage-like. You can't call it a cage, but the conditions look horrific. The Mylar blankets. It's not a pretty sight. But why are we not allowed to talk about that? Well, we are. And how do you spin it? Well, Jen Psaki, she knows how to spin a thing or two. She certainly knows how to circle back, right?
I hate to disappoint you, but I will have to circle back with you on that as well. Circle back. Circle back.
All right, so what does the Circle Back girl have to say about being confronted with some of the issues that we have been talking about along the border? Peter Doocy doing a great job from Fox News and says...
2 years ago, President Biden said, we are a nation that says you want to flee and you're fleeing opposition, you should come. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. Now he says, I can say quite clearly, don't come over. So why was his position different campaigning than it is governing?
Now let's remember, again, the audio that he speaks of. While he was campaigning, what specifically did the now president of the United States said as then former vice president running for president? What did he say? Let's be reminded of the specifics. Here it is.
What I would do as president is several more things because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
Right? Surge to the border. Do it. Surge to the border. You want asylum? Surge to the border because that's who we are. Pretty straightforward, right? I mean, any questions as to what he meant? Well, it depends on if you ask Jen Psaki.
I'll circle back.
All right, well, don't circle back. Just answer the question. Here we go.
I'll circle back.
I got it. I understand. Okay, here we go.
Well, I think that sometimes there's language that is used by some that is not including the full context of his comments.
Can I just stop there? Full context. He said, let's be reminded again.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
I don't need any more context than that. That's pretty straightforward. Isn't it straightforward? That is pretty straightforward. Surge to the border. If I was you, I would surge to the border because you're an asylum seeker. Surge to the border because your voice needs to be heard. That's pretty straightforward. But okay, I got the spin. Yeah, we got it.
I will say that he still believes that he wants our country to be a place where there is asylum processing at the border, where people are considered and go through a proper process, who are fleeing prosecution, who should be considered for immigration status.
Every single person at the border, asylum seekers, every single one. Oh, by the way, if you go to the border and say you're seeking asylum, well, there you go. That's all you have to do now. From what I understand, that is a lot of what is happening. So what about that? Look, the press secretary and the White House is going to spin this. They're going to gaslight this. They're going to do anything and everything that they can to make it look like what you're seeing is not actually what you're seeing. And there's a really important aspect to this that I don't know if people are talking about, but I certainly am going to talk about this. And it has to do with a D.C. Circuit Court judge, Lawrence Silberman, who did something the other day that got some attention, but not a lot of attention because of the news cycle, but needs to have more focused on this issue. And it does spin back or circle back, if you will. See what I did that?
I'll circle back.
Yep, I did. I'm going to circle back to it. Watch what I do as I circle back to the initial issue of Jen Psaki spinning and the media, who is quite upset that they're not getting the transparency out of this administration that they thought they would get. We're all on the same team, right? I mean, Democrats, and the media, we're all in the same bucket, whatever you want to call it. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to us? But again, this is an important part of this story, and I'm telling you, tuck this one away, and it's this. A threat to American democracy. A federal judge alleges Democrats control almost all major news outlets. This is a huge story. The Epoch Times had it. Zachary Steiber had the story. A federal judge this week said the Democrat Party is close to controlling the press as he detailed what he described as shocking bias against Republicans. D.C. Circuit Court Judge Lawrence Silberman outlined his opposition to the Supreme Court's key decision in 64's New York Times versus Sullivan, which has since protected many media outlets from lawsuits. Silberman, a Reagan appointee, wrote that the ruling is, quote, a threat to American democracy and must be overturned. Why? The increased power of the press is so dangerous today because we are very close to one-party control of these institutions. Turns out that ideological consolidation of the press, helped along by economic consolidation, is a far greater threat. Although the bias against the Republican Party, not just controversial individuals, is rather shocking today, this is not new. It's a long-term secular trend going back to at least the 70s. Two of the three most influential papers, at least historically, the New York Times, Washington Post, are virtually Democratic Party broadsheets. And the news section of the Wall Street Journal leans in the same direction. The orientation of these three papers is followed by the AP and most large papers across the country, like the LA Times, Miami Herald, and Boston Globe. And remember something, and I'm going to add to this. Most of your local and state news is also rip and read. They take from all of these different places and they just read it. They're not doing any journalism on their own. Most of them, all they're doing is ripping and reading. And so by default, that's what you're getting. Democrat-controlled party broadsheets. Nearly all television, network, and cable is a Democrat Party trumpet. Even the government-supported National Public Radio follows along, he added. None of the news outlets commented on this story. The judge also expressed concern about the influence that big tech wields over how news is distributed, referencing how Twitter limited the spread of a New York Post article about President Joe Biden's son, Hunter. The uniformity of news bias has a political impact, the judge continued, pointing to author Tom Grosskloss's 2011 book, Left Turn. And what he said in the book is, and what was described as, it should be borne in mind that the first step taken by any potential authoritarian or dictatorial regime is to gain control of communications, particularly the delivery of news. It's fair to conclude, therefore, that one-party control of the press and media is a threat to a viable democracy. It may even give rise to countervailing extremism. Wow, this is a big, big, big story. It was huge. And it just didn't get enough attention in my eyes because of the ever-changing news cycle. Just like that, everything changes in minutes, in hours. There's so much. You're drinking water out of a fire hose. You know how it is. But this is a big story for a lot of reasons. Number one, this is a circuit court judge who is noticing something that we all recognize, and the threats and the danger to the democracy, the danger to our constitutional republic, one-party rule of the dissemination of news, the way that it is right now, that we've all talked about. Now you have a court judge, a circuit court judge, in D.C., no less, that sees this, recognizes it, understands the threat. So how does that circle back to where we are now? And what I was talking about before, because this is, to me, so simple and fundamental. The media believes that the fake news legacy media, all the people that were discussed in this article, all the institutions that have been there for the longest time, the New York Times, the Washington Post, news outlets, the big tech, all of the places, Twitter, all the National Public Radio, Associated Press, LA Times, Miami Herald, Boston Globe. All of these outlets are confused flummoxed, if you will. How is it that this administration is not giving us transparency? You mean they're lying to us? Is that what you're doing? You're not even giving us the opportunity to go to the border and find a place where we can spin this for you. We're here to help. We're on your side. And I might make this case. And maybe I'm off base, and maybe this is a case that I'm about to make that the reason why it hasn't been made is because I am off base. But I wonder what you think. Pretty smart audience. 239-479-5592, and it's this. The fake news legacy media maybe is starting to realize that when you have a radical administration, radicals in Washington, D.C. that want to fundamentally change this country, do you think they care about your First Amendment rights? Do you honestly think they care about you as an institution, the fake news legacy media? They're using you. You are useful idiots. Every single one of you. You're lazy. You think that that you as an institution deserve to be a part of this, that you would never have anything done to you like your royalty. And yet the left doesn't care about you. The radical left in this country wants to destroy fundamentally the country across the board, our constitutional republic. And they'll use you because they know you're not going anywhere. Because ultimately, they'll use you right now. They'll deny you the opportunity to see what's going on because they could give two about you, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And then sooner or later, they'll look to you to come back for some other issue, and you'll come back like a good little puppy dog and a pat on the head, and you'll be back there just like the dog that's sitting in your living room right now, that even when you scold the dog, that dog comes back. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that's making sense. Is this making sense? Maybe in the comments and reaction section on the text line, 239-479-5592. They're shocked that they're being denied this transparency, the most transparent. We're trying to help you. I can't believe you all are doing this. Maybe it really is a crisis. It looks like it is a crisis. I can't believe you would do something like this. When the radicals in this administration are like, are you kidding? We could care less about you. You're going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. We already know how we feel and how useful you can be to us. You're not going anywhere. And just like the circuit court judge described, the Democrats run the show. They're all Democrats. They're going to continue to come back. I wonder if that's a big part of this as well. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line, streaming live. DrewSteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. We'd love for you to watch there. It's great for your smartphone, smart device. It's just a simple website. And you can still go to Facebook if you'd like, at Drew Steele Radio. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along. Oh, look at that. Sabrina Katz has traffic.
A hit-and-run crash in Lehigh Acres at Sunshine and 17th is delaying traffic southbound on Sunshine. This is as you're heading towards 12th. Also, a crash at Metro and 6 Mile. We know this is a very heavily used intersection, so make sure to use lots of extra caution as you're heading through. Not seeing a major backup at the moment, but still dealing with fog, especially if you're heading north out of Collier County towards Charlotte County. You'll see that fog more so in Charlotte, dense fog near Jones Loop Road. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz, Wink News. Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock. Temperatures warm up this afternoon to close to 80 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Rush Limbaugh.
This month, a Jane Doe filed suit against Texas Democrat Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. The unidentified woman says she was raped by Sheila Jackson Lee's chief of staff in October 2015. She reported the incident to police and others. Jane Doe says that when the congresswoman found out about the allegations, she was fired. She was fired in retaliation. These are serious charges. They're very serious. A woman victim is accusing Sheila Jackson Lee of siding with her rapist and re-victimizing her. Now, Sheila Jackson Lee happens to be leader of the Congressional Black Caucasians Foundation. After the lawsuit was made public, the CBC Foundation Board of Directors asked Congresswoman Jackson Lee to quit her leadership position. Her response? She told the Congressional Black Caucasians Board to get lost. She's not going anywhere. Screw them and anybody else who wants to hold her to account. And let that be a lesson to all of you. This is how elite Democrats respond to all this Me Too business. They couldn't care less. And if any of them did it, it may as well have not even ever happened. Save more money. One way to accomplish that, switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk. When you and your family make the switch from AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile to Pure Talk, you could save more than $800 a year, and you don't have to sacrifice coverage in making the move. Pure Talk is on the same network as one of those big carriers at just half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. And if you go over on data usage, they do not charge you for it. Grab your mobile phone, dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk. When you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say the keyword Pure Talk. Pure Talk will help you make that an easy switch. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless, and you'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text from Pure Talk.
Hey, have you heard about a conservative project launching from Southwest Florida? It's called the American Spirit Movement. Now, if you haven't, you're going to want to hear about this. Kevin, owns and operates AMCO of Bonita Springs. They put together an amazing team of local conservatives, and they're going to be introducing this project called the American Spirit Movement at the Estero Republican Club on Tuesday, March 23rd, inside the Estero Rec Center. Now, the American Spirit Movement is building a marketplace where conservatives can seek and support each other in the areas of commerce, employment, business networking, idea sharing, and more, so we can help each other as well as strengthen and expand the conservative movement throughout America. Now, if you want to learn more about what the American Spirit Movement is doing, show up no later than 5:45 p.m. at the Estero Republican Club in the Estero Rec Center. The address is 9200 Corkscrew Palms Boulevard. The Rec Center is located inside the Estero Community Park. So learn more about what the American Spirit Movement is doing. A marketplace for conservatives, yes. Find out more, 5:45 p.m. at the Estero Republican Club, Tuesday, March 23rd, inside the Estero Rec Center. We'll see you there.
Your home is more important now than ever before. So when your air conditioner needs maintenance, repair, or replacing, Conditioned Air wants to be your first and only call. The Florida weather can be challenging. When you have a cooling issue, our team is here to resolve it quickly and efficiently. You can be assured of honesty, respect, and our desire to exceed your expectations every single time, and we've been doing that since 1962. Conditioned Air, 1-888-COLD-AIR, or online at conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Women frequently find themselves at the forefront during life's most challenging times, such as divorce or the loss of a loved one. Making wise, long-term decisions can feel intimidating. At FindMark, we educate women and their partners on managing their financial affairs together. Wise decision-making is essential. We can help. With locations in Naples, Fort Myers, Bonita Springs, and Estero, and online at findmarkbank.com.
Hey, this is Papa announcing our newest snowbird protection plan. If you leave Florida each year, we can take care of your roof while you're away. If you leave and later discover you have a roof problem, simply notify us and we can fix it while you're gone. We will send you before and after pictures, and you can pay us by credit card. As always, we offer our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll make it affordable. We have 2 warehouses filled with the obsolete tiles, and likely we can make a matching replacement to make your roof tile look new and clean. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, we thank all of you for supporting our family business for over 30 years. My sons have adopted my old-fashioned ideas: be honest, do a good job, make the customer happy. Our phone number is easy to remember. It's just 4 numbers, 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Area code 239-945-2700. License number CCC 132-6213.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
Whether you're a homeowner or a contractor who wants the finest countertops, choose Rock Solid, a company you can trust.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
Nothing runs like a. I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
It's a massive crime scene. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, at a shot-up supermarket in Boulder, Colorado, inside and out.
I saw a man with a semi-automatic rifle shooting at people in the parking lot. I saw a dead body.
And 9 more people were killed, including a police officer responding.
He was, by all accounts, one of the outstanding officers at the Boulder Police Department, and his life was cut far too short.
District Attorney Michael Doherty, Fox's Jeff Paul's outside the store.
There's some cars in the parking lot. That's because a lot of the survivors had to leave their cars behind as they ran to safety, especially as the gunfire continued. Some even jumping off the back loading dock of the grocery store.
The suspected gunman is in custody. President Biden will go to Ohio today, touting the COVID financial aid package worth nearly $2 trillion. Republicans called too big, full of non-COVID spending. Well, now he's working up legislation with an even bigger price tag. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more live.
Dave, an infrastructure package that could cost as much as $3 trillion is in the works, calling for massive investments in roads, bridges, and charging stations for electrical vehicles. Democrats also want free community college, universal pre-kindergarten, and paid family leave, initiatives that are non-starters for Republicans. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
We're hearing the next few months might bring a so-called infrastructure proposal that may actually be a Trojan horse for massive tax hikes and other job-killing left-wing policies.
Democrats are considering using budget reconciliation, bypassing the need for Republican votes. Dave.
Rachel, AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine not approved here yet is under further review after federal health officials said this morning the company might have used outdated information in clinical trials. AstraZeneca U.S. President Ruud Dobber said of the trials,
"We're very pleased to show that on the basis of our interim results, it was a 100% effectiveness against death."
America's listening to Fox News.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News traffic.
The crash in Fort Myers at 6 Mile and Metro is delaying traffic southbound on Metro heading to the intersection. Very easy way to navigate around this is Plantation. Now, we're getting busy on the Daniels extension as well if you're heading towards Gateway Boulevard. Speaking of Gateway, bumper-to-bumper slowdowns heading northbound on Gateway Boulevard starting from Daniels. Also, I-75 commuters, we are still up to speed. But if you're in Charlotte County or heading that way, dense fog on the highways in some parts, you'll drive in and out of it. As you're driving through it, just use the blow beams. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, across Southwest Florida, we're going to warm up notably, going from the 50s this morning to the 80s by the second half of today. You'll surely see more sunshine here on Tuesday, especially compared to what we had over the weekend. But looking ahead to temperatures close to 90 as we wrap up the work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I just want to say I love America because everyone gets a voice.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
You probably know Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
Being the most experienced, Dr. David C. Brown's Eye Centers of Florida has conducted many FDA studies since 1971, including the first to perform laser cataract surgery, multifocal lens for cataracts, HD lens for distance clarity and accuracy, genetic screening for macular degeneration, the studies for implantable contact lenses, and dozens more. A world of better vision is right here in Southwest Florida. Dr. David C. Brown's Eye Centers of Florida, clearly the right choice.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. The talk and text line we stream live anytime you want to watch at Drew Steele Radio. On Facebook. Also, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's, so you can go there in the comments and reactions section. Of course, we love to get your feedback. J. Christian Adams is joining us right now. He's the president of the Public Interest Legal Foundation. And I wanted to talk to him this morning about the perils of Hr1. We can't talk about this enough, I have to tell you, because that is how things will change. Things will change when we have more information for people to be able to hear about what is going on in D.C., understand what is happening, the specifics, and we're going to get to that this morning. It's Drew Steele. Thanks for joining us. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so that is a big concern, right? I mean, you know, when you talk about Hr1 and some of the things when it comes to certainly election integrity, absentee ballots, and we're going to get into the details, that really is what is the fundamental issue, is it not? That more often than not, people hear about the things like Hr1, but the way it is spun, plus the fact that we have this ever-changing news cycle, things just change at the drop of a hat, that too often than not, we have people that don't understand how dangerous something like this truly is.
Well, pardon, if you like the chaos of 2020, the uncertainty, the slack in the system, the chicanery of 2020, you're going to love Hr1 because it makes all of it federal law, whether it's ballots getting to come in late in the mail, late up to 10 days. We won't know who won the election for sure because ballots are just going to keep rolling in. It gets rid of voter ID like Florida has. Florida does a pretty good job of cleaning their voter rolls, but not anymore. Not anymore. Under Hr1, you're going to have prohibitions on removing people who haven't voted for 20 years from the voter rolls. Look, there's lots more, 700 pages, but it does something even worse. It undoes the United States. It undoes the bargain that got us a country where states get to control their own affairs, their own elections, and it federalizes everything. All of this power that resides now with you, the people are close to this. The state legislators do this, and it takes it all and sends it to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so some of the more egregious issues and actions that are in the Hr1 Certainly, when you're talking about automatically registering people and that whole issue of something that has been discussed in the past, right? The motor voter rolls to be able to do that. It's not something that's new, but it's something that's repackaged. Would you say that is probably one way to assess it?
Yeah, I mean, you're referring to the automatic voter registration.
Yep.
Now, look, a couple of states have tried this. They haven't had a lot of success. A lot of non-citizens get on the rolls. A lot of people get on the rolls 2 or 3 times when you use government lists to make people register to vote. So if you get food WIC, or if you get other public assistance, you live in Section 8 housing, you get on the voter rolls. That's what Hr1 does. Now, other states have toyed with this, like California, and it's been a disaster, and other states have not done it, like Florida, and said, hey, we're going to have real registration, and it doesn't work. But there's so many things in this bill. I mean, they have same-day registration where you don't even register to vote. You just go to the polls and vote. Now, that might sound nice, but if you don't have an eligibility check, it causes real problems. There's all kinds of things. Washington, D.C. bureaucrats will get to micromanage your school board decisions under Hr1. That's how bad it is.
Wow. J. Christian Adams joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, president of the Public Interest Legal Foundation. We're talking about Hr1 and the concerns that we all have. And, of course, it's understanding what is a part of this to know how bad it truly is. The issue of absentee ballots is something that is interesting to us here in the state of Florida. And because so many people talk about how we use it here, and especially in Southwest Florida, and there's never an issue. We don't hear about it. We don't have it. And the two things that I think that are interesting when it becomes part of the discussion is, number one, it really does depend on who's in charge, right? I mean, if you have people who really do honestly care about the integrity of the vote, they're going to do anything and everything that they can to make sure that that is assured. But then you're going to have bad actors and bad people who come along who have who do not care about that, who just want to use it for their sole purpose, which is going to be to manipulate. But then the other part of it is this. We hear about some of the things that are going on in Georgia, the chain of custody of hundreds of thousands of ballots and where they are and how we still don't have that even to this day. Is that another concern when it comes to absentee ballots?
Yeah, I mean, look, Hr1 would make more ballots, put more ballots in the mail. That's for sure. And the mail is the last place you want an election to be decided. Right. I mean, I get my neighbor's mail all the time. So,
that's bad. We got to work on that. That's
right. I mean, we don't want the post office. And look, the post office says that with political mail, 5% failure is their goal. 5%. So who's going to be disenfranchised? But you said something else that's important. We have decentralized elections for a reason. We have county control. We have state control. Secretary of State and counties in Florida run elections. And that's a good thing because it means not one single bad person can ever manipulate the system. The founders hated central authority because they knew what it leads to. It leads to disaster. And this bill that's moving through Congress on elections would federalize everything and create a central authority in Washington, D.C., which will be believe me, the people who work in it, when you live in Washington, it's an ideologically partisan town. It's a one-way, one-sided town politically. It's 85% Democrat, and the people who work in the federal government, it's even more. And so this bill would take control away from your county election officials, your state election officials, and give it to bureaucrats inside the Beltway, and that's probably the worst part of the bill.
Are we seeing this more and more, whether it's Hr1, whether it's D.C. statehood? We could probably go on, that we're seeing more and more how there are those in this country who are just fundamentally looking at constitutional issues and thumbing a nose at it, and things that are built into by our framers and the Constitution, things that have been just fine up until this point. I mean, even the D.C. statehood issue, which seems ridiculous on its face, knowing how we have an enclave, a federal government enclave that was set up by our founders, that somehow we have these issues coming up where. And even with Hr1, right, taking away constitutionally of what has been there for the states, now taking it onto a federal level, it seems more and more, and you're probably seeing it as well from the legal side, that people are just thumbing their nose at the Constitution.
Well, it's been going on for years, and here's how it started. I've been saying this for over a decade now. The far left, the progressives care about process. They know that you just go to work every day and you care about a couple of issues. They don't consume your life, but they're important to you. And then you just have your normal lives. But on the other side of the ledger, they're like little carpenter bees, where they're digging and whittling away at the infrastructure and the architecture going back decades. And they know that if you care about process, the boring rules, the parliamentary procedures, the constitutional issues that you mentioned, if you care about process, you can control the policy. Right. And they've been working on this for years. That's why they attack voter ID. That's why they have gone after basic election integrity measures for years, because they think process is more important than policy, than the ideas you believe in. They think if they control the rules, they control the outcome.
Right. That's probably the same situation with the filibuster, right? It's one of those things that most people don't even know what it is, but yet they can throw all kinds of language at it, Jim Crow relic and the like, and people just see that. All they see is the headline because they don't fundamentally know even what it is and what it means. And so when they hear that, that's their first reaction is, well, we can't have that, because they don't know.
Yeah, the filibuster was set up to create minority rights, so you don't have wild swings in this country in between one side or the other. But these people want wild swings. Right. They want polarization. They want the ability to radicalize policy, and the filibuster stands in the way of that. And the way that they try to get around it is by shaming people, by claiming that it has to do with Jim Crow. It doesn't. It doesn't. And some people have risen way above the racial accusations. In other words, a lot of people don't care anymore. Go ahead, call us a racist. It's not true. We know it's in our heart. What we care about is protecting minority rights through the filibuster. And your nonsense about race is just a lie, and you have to call it that.
Yeah. So what happens now ultimately with this, with HR1? And probably with a lot of other things that Democrats are pushing really hard, the sense that I get and people I talk to is time is of the essence. They just know it. They know 2022 is around the corner. I think they feel the tide and where it is and maybe where it's always been. And so they're pushing these things fast and hard to try to get it done. But ultimately, how do we stop it? What kind of actions? What actions are you taking? Maybe even specifically when it comes to HR1 and other issues that are happening that you're concerned about.
No, what I'm doing is writing letters and articles that appear in West Virginia and Arizona, and doing a lot of radio talk to explain this to people who live in the states where Joe Manchin, Senator from West Virginia, and Kristen Sinema from Arizona will decide basically what kind of republic we have. I mean, I'm not overstating that, people. This is worse than Obamacare. This is an absolute federal takeover of the political process from your states and local governments. This is the whole deal. This is why we have a country, is because states said, no, we're in charge of our elections. We're in charge of our own political affairs. Federal government, you get this tiny little role, and this is going to upend that fundamental constitutional compromise from 230-some years ago, where the federal government did not control state elections. And when this happens, folks, it's Katie bar the door, because I'm telling you, I worked at the Justice Department in the voting section, and the people who work there in the voting section are hostile to your values, to your concerns, to things that you think are important. And they will attempt to shape the country in their image, and you are going to be on the outside looking in when that happens. That's why this is the whole ball game. You hear that sometimes, but I'm telling you, this HR1 that's going to be decided in the next couple months with the filibuster will be the most tectonic shift of political power in this country, really in a decades, if not longer.
And that's why it's so important to learn, to find out more information about what is happening. Publicinterestlegal.org, a great website and resource to go to get more information. And I would encourage you to do that today. President of the Public Interest Legal Foundation, J. Christian Adams, joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Sir, I appreciate a few minutes of your time today. I hope we get the chance to do this again. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Take care.
All right. 239-479-5592. Look, that's ultimately what's going to be the answer. It's going to be information and knowing who the people are. I said this before. I said it after the election. Hard to believe that Joe Manchin is going to be the most powerful man in the country. And whether or not Joe Manchin cares enough about our constitutional republic to save it. And maybe that's the appeal, is to be a hero. You know, you hate to put it that way, but in a sense, that's what it is. To be a hero, to save the republic. Can you imagine? Can't even believe I'm saying that. But if you think about it, that's the case. All right, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can watch right there. It's mobile friendly. It's smart device friendly. It's computer friendly. And, of course, if you want to go to Facebook, you most certainly can go there at Drew Steele Radio. We appreciate you watching. It's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A crash at 41 in Alico is really delaying traffic. We're at a creeping crawl heading southbound on 41 towards Alico. You have Michael G. Rip Parkway as a great option to navigate around this. There's also a crash at 6 Mile and Metro, still delaying traffic south on Metro and westbound on 6 Mile. Now, if you're in Lehigh Acres, that crash at Lee and Westgate is delaying traffic on Lee Boulevard. That slowdown beginning, and it's lasting for about a half mile right now. If you're heading to Alvin Avenue in Lehigh Acres, I would suggest Leonard 82, or you can even hop on Buckingham Road. The trip to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock. Temperatures warm up this afternoon to close to 80 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Pandemic, market drops, elections. Don't let the noise and fear distract you. Where do you go for clarity in uncertain times? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's financial planner. For experience, advice on planning for retirement, visit savingtheinvestor.com.
Let Naples Shutter enhance your home's beauty and increase its value. From our legendary all-wood plantation shutters made right here in Naples for over 40 years, to luxurious blinds and shades, to the unique island appeal of Bahama shutters, Naples Shutter has you covered with a lifetime guarantee and over 40,000 satisfied customers. Call 239-566-8161 today for a free estimate. That's 239-566-8161 or visit NaplesShutter.com.
4 days, one event. Add it up and you get the Give Me 5 event, where you can buy a new Nissan for just $5 a day. Only at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Through Sunday at 7 p.m. It's the Give Me 5 event. $5 a day is all you need to drive the hottest new crossover on the road. A brand new 2021 Nissan Rogue. Only at the #1 Nissan dealer in Florida can you buy a new Nissan for less than a latte. Just $5 a day for a Rogue. Or for only $4 a day, you can drive a brand new 2021 Altima. A brand new car for $4 a day. Give us $5, get a brand new Rogue. $4 and get an Altima. Who says you can't get much for $5 these days? This sale ends at 7 p.m. Sunday. Nobody in Florida sells more Nissans than Sutherland. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car mega store. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
Tune in on Sunday mornings, Fox News 92.5, Dr. Amy Robbins and Maximize Living Radio. I'm going to be going over topics like leaky gut, weight loss resistance, how to fix your chronic aches and pains, how to deal with all of those things in a natural way, how to sleep better. So there's a different topic every single week that we're going to be covering. Tune in and get the help that you need.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet just, when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Call 552-FEET or visit us in Naples or our newest store in Fort Myers. A refreshing swim in your pool shouldn't be interrupted by cloudy water, a broken heater, or faulty equipment. Healthy Pools of Southwest Florida keeps your oasis ready to enjoy every day. Their experts complete a 20-point checklist at each visit, keeping your pool healthy and protecting your investment. Relax knowing your pool is in good hands. Call 239-425-0300 right now and receive your first month free. That's 239-425-0300 or healthypoolsswfl.com. Healthy Pools is a forgotten country company.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592. I got to tell you that it is outrageous. CNN is outrageous. They are some sick individuals there. And if you say, well, why are you saying that? Now what? Maybe that's what you're saying. Now what? On the heels of a horrific story, 10 dead in Colorado in the supermarket shooting, where there's not a lot of information right now. It's going to take days before they have all the information out. It was already discussed that way by the Boulder police chief, Maris Harold, saying that it could be days, at least 5 days, because it's a complex investigation. No less than 5 days to complete. They don't want to release details of motives for the shooter, the weapons and the like, and we're not there yet. And yet here's CNN this morning. Listen to this.
A larger story here that may not be addressed today, but is one that we have to address in light of what happened in Atlanta, which is, are we facing a spring and summer of mass casualty events as we come out, as people congregate? And that is something that the Biden White House will have to address as well.
Juliet, how can that be? How can it be that after a year of basic quarantine in the country, the first thing we do as Americans is go back to mass shootings? I mean, how can that be?
What? Just this morning, just a few minutes ago, CNN, their national security analyst who worked for the Obama administration, says, facing a spring and summer of mass casualty events, and I forget her name on CNN, the anchor in the morning. I don't know why her name's escaping me. How can that be after a year of basic quarantine in the country? The first thing we do as Americans is go back to mass shootings. How can that be? I mean, how outrageous is that? I mean, it's typical fare for CNN and what they do. But here we are, a horrific situation, still trying to get information, understanding that there are details that are going to take a while to come out, a complex investigation as described by the police department there. There will be plenty of people and plenty of time to get to the details to find out exactly what happened in this shooting at the supermarket in Boulder, Colorado. And there we are this morning. Americans going back to mass shootings? A spring and summer of mass casualty events? How sick is that to describe it that way? I'm sorry, it's just outrageous. All right, 239-479-5592, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele with 3 E's. Allison Camerata, that's who it is. All right. Spencer Roach coming up next. We'll talk about some issues out of Tallahassee.
92.5 Fox News.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau here, owner of D.R. Martineau Roofing of Southwest Florida. I've been repairing and replacing roofs for 27 years. We operate with integrity, knowledge, and service. Google DRM Roofing or call 239-332-1441.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
NCH Heart Institute is home to the most experienced and most dedicated team of physicians and nurses in Southwest Florida. Over the past 30 years, NCH Heart Institute has mastered the quality, the care, and the holistic patient experience that can only be found within a nationally ranked heart institute. Caring for patient, mind, heart, and body. That's the cornerstone of our critical care team, which ranks in the top 2% of all hospitals in America.
NCAA Heart Institute, at the heart of what matters most.
How many client portfolios is your investment advisor responsible for? Is yours one of hundreds? Or perhaps your financial institution has just been acquired by yet another firm, and the team you've known for years is suddenly gone. At the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company and its division, the Naples Trust Company, our portfolio management team is local and care for a proper ratio of account relationships designed to give you the highest possible attention and an asset allocation that is best for you and your goals. Another key factor is that all of our employees are owners in the trust company through an employee stock ownership plan. So we have no interest in being acquired, and more importantly, we have a vested interest in seeing our clients as happy as we are. Are you ready for a better experience? Contact us at the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company or the Naples Trust Company. Visit sancaptrustco.com to discover the difference.
Not FDIC insured. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Police in Boulder, Colorado have not identified the suspect in custody or a possible motive for a shooting at a supermarket. 10 people are dead, including a police officer with 7 children.
Officer Tully responded to the scene, was the first on the scene, and he was fatally shot.
Boulder Police Chief Maris Harold. With the coronavirus spending bill done, President Biden's next big push is on infrastructure spending. Fox's Chad Pergram.
Fox has told the administration may want $3 trillion in new infrastructure spending. Republicans are suspect. The GOP contends this is a payoff to the left. It focuses more on social policy than bricks and mortar, education incentives, such as free college, a national paid leave program.
The president will be in Columbus, Ohio today to talk about the Affordable Care Act and promote premium subsidies included in the coronavirus bill to help people pay for health insurance. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
A crash at 41 in Alico is really delaying traffic. Right at Creek McCraw heading southbound on 41 towards Alico. You have Michael G. Rip Parkway as a great option to navigate around this. There's also a crash at 6 Mile and Metro, still delaying traffic south on Metro and westbound on 6 Mile. Now, if you're in Lehigh Acres, that crash at Lee and Westgate is delaying traffic on Lee Boulevard. That slowdown beginning, and it's lasting for about a half mile right now. If you're heading to Alvin Avenue in Lehigh Acres, I would suggest Leonard 82, or you can even hop on Buckingham Road. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, across Southwest Florida, we're going to warm up notably, going from the 50s this morning to the 80s by the second half of today. You'll surely see more sunshine here on Tuesday, especially compared to what we had over the weekend. But looking ahead to temperatures close to 90 as we wrap up the work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
I won't give up the ship.
Talking about what matters.
This country is too great to throw over to communism. I love it.
92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Goodbye, pest. I'll see you later. I called National Exterminators. For just $46, they get all rodents and bugs. 23946, no bug. Ow!
Call the boys at National Exterminators at 23946, no bug, or visit them online at pestcontrolmadeeasy.com for all your pest control needs. Bugs, termites, rodents, and even attic installation. Better service, better prices, and no contracts.
Goodbye, pest. I'll see you later. I called National Exterminators. For just $46, they get all rodents and bugs. 23946, no bug.
Ow! Call the boys at National Exterminators at 23946, no bug, or visit them online at pestcontrolmadeeasy.com for all your pest control needs. Bugs, termites, rodents, and even attic installation. Better service, better prices, and no contracts.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South is the Florida window factory. Our windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, because we understand Florida weather. With New South Windows, you don't have to sacrifice energy efficiency or storm protection. Our Energy Star rated windows and doors are made with impact and non-impact options, giving you the best of both worlds. New South Window, home of your ultimate Florida window.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get the third free. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Girls. So you're saying the NCAA threatened you, and you don't think you can win that fight. They said, if you sign this, we won't allow girls in South Dakota to play, and you don't think you can win in court, even though the public overwhelmingly supports you nationally, and so you're caving to the NCAA. I think that's what you're saying.
No, that's not right at all, Tucker. In fact, you're wrong completely.
Okay.
I've been working on this issue for
Tell me
years.
how.
In fact, several years ago, I fought USDA to make sure that 4-H rodeo and that the sport of rodeo could keep girls' events, and boys' events. So I've been working on this for many, many years.
Now, boy, that was an interesting exchange we're going to get into more detail on with Kristi Noem on Tucker Carlson's program. She is not going to sign a bill barring transgender women from women's sports in South Dakota. The question is why, and a lot of people are asking. And listen, it has 2024 ramifications if people are wondering whether or not Kristi Noem could possibly be setting up for a 2024 run if Trump doesn't run, at least putting herself out there. I think we're all satisfied in believing that she's thinking that way. But what about this? Trans women competing against biological women, and even that discussion happening here in the state, and some other things that are going on. Representative Spencer Roach is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News to talk about some House bills that are happening, and of course, everything that's going on in session right now. First of all, good morning, Spencer. How are you, sir?
Drew, top of the morning to you in Southwest Florida. Today is day 22 of our 60-day legislative session, so I'm just fueling up, sucking down some caffeine, getting ready to go back to the Capitol for another fun day of owning the libs here in the state of Florida. I'm doing great.
Okay, fueling up for another day of owning the libs. All right, good for you. All right, well, let's get to this. House Bill 1475. You know, we've got this being discussed in Tallahassee, so talk about this House bill.
Yeah, and let me say, I'm glad you started with that clip with Governor Noem and Tucker Carlson. I did see that clip last night, and first of all, Kristi Noem, is my girl. I love me some Kristi Noem, man. I think she's going places. She's a great conservative warrior. And what she did, I think, is a little bit misunderstood. She's taking the long view here, and she's trying to bulletproof this bill in anticipation of litigation. So I understand what she's trying to do.
Well, maybe even let me say this before, Spencer, before we move on, because if we're going to touch on it, let's hit on it and then let's get to our own state, because I think you bring up a very interesting point. Because a lot of people are looking on the surface and they're saying the reason why they don't like that she's not fighting, they feel like one side is saying she's not fighting this. She wants to send the bill back because she's kind of watering it down because she's concerned about maybe caving into the NCAA in the state of South Dakota. And some others, I guess like you, are looking at it and saying, well, hold on a second. Why fight a battle that it looks like you'll lose in court? Maybe there's another way of doing it. Is that the suggestion? Is that what you're looking at when you heard that? Because that's the two sides. One is Kristi Noem saying, look, I've talked to lawyers and scholars, and they all tell me that you're going to lose in court. So here's another way of doing it, but doing the same thing. And then there's the other side that's saying, look, fight. Just go ahead and have the fight in court. Let's see that you're doing that. So, again, your perspective on those two sides.
Yeah, sure. And I think no matter which one of these strategies someone would embrace, a short-term win to satisfy popular opinion that's going to get overturned in court and it's going to lock out students in a small state from these national competitions versus a long-term strategy to win. I don't think anyone should doubt or question Governor Noem's commitment to making sure that girls can compete in girls' sports and boys should stay in boys' sports. I think her commitment and to this cause is real. I don't doubt that. But I do understand what she's doing, and I think it would be easier for her and politically more popular to take the short-term victory with the legislation, let the lawsuits play out, and then let this get overturned and penalize her students in South Dakota. But I actually applaud her for taking a longer view and maybe getting beat up a little bit in the media. But she will win in the long run. I think she's doing this right by looking at the language, kicking it back to the legislature. She wants to make it bulletproof, and it might take a little bit longer to get there, but when it will. Governor Noem wants to make sure it's not overturned, and I have no doubt about her commitment to protecting women and women's sports. I don't, but there are two competing theories here on which view of this you endorse. But I think Tucker was a little disingenuous in his inference that Kristi Noem was not dedicated to this fight. I think she is. Yeah, and so now we have House Bill 1475 here in the state of Florida. Let's talk about that. Yeah, so we are doing this in Florida. We have a bill filed by a representative just to the north of us, Kaylee Tuck. I have co-sponsored the bill. It's House Bill 1475, and this is designed to ensure that only women can compete or girls can compete in high school girls athletics and college athletics here in the state of Florida. And, we've looked at this, and for those who want to follow the science, we're going to follow the science. You look at, the fastest woman in the world, Allison Felix. She's won more gold medals than Usain Bolt, literally. But yet hundreds of high school boys can beat her time. And when you ask why, men are just different. We have denser bones. We have stronger tendons and ligaments, larger hearts. We have a greater lung volume, higher red blood cell count, higher endurance. And we're seeing this in other parts of the country. For instance, in Connecticut, we have two males who identify as female that have won not 1, not 5, not 10. Between the two of them, they've won 15 high school state track and field championships in 2017, 18, and 19. And what happens when you do this, it's just not an issue of playing sports. You are locking out girls and young women from competing for college scholarships as well. So there are some real harms that can be done. But here in the state of Florida, our Republican legislature believes that women and girls should be competing in women and girls sports. We're still allowing co-ed sports for those co-ed sports, but that men should be competing in men's sports. So we have a bill filed. I think it's at its second committee stop. It has to go through 3 stops before it gets to the House floor. But we are also committed to this fight here in Florida. Yeah, there's certainly the science and the evidence, and we have to be able to have this conversation. And I think that's part of it, right, Spencer? Is that as if we're bringing Kristi Noem back into the conversation, it is fair to say that. On the surface, it's easy to make the argument and the fight, but it also is good to get into the weeds with it and get into the details, because that's important as well. Because you ultimately you're going to get the pushback from those that just want to see the surface issue.
You're going to get the pushback from the people that are just going to see it and then start to demagogue it and use it against you and say that you're in fill the blank of the Islamophobia and all that kind of stuff without really digging into why you're saying this, the specifics. And even on Kristi Noem's part, I guess one of the discussions is if this was something that would just be easy to say on the surface, and again, going back to the surface part of this, that, yeah, agree with it, sign off on it, and that's the end of it for political reasons. There's also the other side of it that denies and the concern about denying the chance for South Dakota students and maybe even here in the state for the chance to play at an NCAA level and what would happen with that issue. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and look, I mean, even here in Florida, when we pass this bill, and I'm optimistic that we will, the governor will sign it, I mean, I have no doubt that we're going to get a federal lawsuit claiming that we are violating the Equal Protection Clause, and I'm sure that that's what Governor Noem is looking at, too. And just like her, I mean, we are going to make sure this is, litigation-proof, bulletproof. We will still get lawsuits. The Florida House has a long track record of winning these lawsuits. But again, I mean, we want to protect our women and girls and protect our young men as well in these athletic programs. But again, you mentioned having the discussion. I mean, I think so many times now people are just afraid of even having the discussion. And parents out there, I think I would tell them just to take heart. We are fighting for your children, and we're on the side of science here. I mean, it's absolutely insane to embrace this idea that one day you can be a man, one day you can be a woman, and that there are no biological difference between men and women. We need to celebrate those differences.
We've got Representative Spencer Roach joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, talking about some of the issues in Tallahassee. His session is underway right now. And one of the other things is a little bit of what we're told is a scandal that is unfolding in Miami and maybe some of the ramifications that we could see here in the state. And I know you wanted to talk about this, so why don't you mention what it is and then what exactly is happening here and what your concerns are?
Yes, thank you, Drew. So there was an election this last election cycle in Miami for a Florida Senate seat that was won by a Republican by 32 votes. And since then, it's come out that a former Republican senator who resigned in disgrace, his name is Frank Artiles, was behind a plan to bring in what we call a ghost candidate, someone who had no intention of serving and did not campaign at all, onto the ballot as a third-party candidate who happened to have the exact same last name as the Democrat incumbent senator that our Republican candidate was running against. Siphoned off about 6,000 votes, and the election, again, was won by 32 votes. So Mr. Artiles has just been indicted and arrested last week on 3 charges of conspiracy in this election. And interestingly enough, I'll explain to your viewers, there's nothing illegal about having a ghost candidate in the race or a third-party candidate. What Mr. Artiles was arrested for is this campaign finance violation. He essentially paid this guy $50,000 in cash to get into the race for the purpose of throwing the race. So that's a big scandal that's unfolding here in Tallahassee and really has statewide implications because we hold the Senate by such a narrow margin. If something happens that we could lose a vote in the Senate there. And there are calls from the Democrats for Senator Garcia to resign. But it looks like she had no knowledge of this. She was sort of she just ran her race and won. But this Republican operative, disgraced Senator Frank Artiles, who resigned from the Senate, disgraced several years ago, was behind this operation. And of course, he was arrested. But this is unfolding, and people are following the money to see where it leads and who knew about it and when. But this is important for Republicans to speak out on. And there's not enough Republicans, in my opinion, speaking out on this issue simply because it was a Republican involved. And I serve as the vice chair of the Public Integrity and Elections Committee in the House, and we need to call this stuff out, even when it's a member of our own party.
All right, and before we go, I did want to talk about this HB 259, I think it is. Talk a little bit about what that is and why we should all be paying attention to it.
Yeah, so House Bill 259 is a bill that would authorize law-abiding concealed carry permit holders to carry their weapon in a house of worship, in a church or a synagogue in Florida. Currently, actually, under Florida law, that's illegal if a school is co-located on the church property, even when that school is not in operation and you're just attending services. So, again, every house of worship, every church has the ability under this law, if this becomes law, to set their own policy. If they don't want weapons, they can prohibit their parishioners from bringing them. But we think that these churches should be treated like any other private establishment. And if you want to protect yourself and defend your family in church, and we know these things happen, look at the case in Texas where a gentleman pulled out his his firearm and stop someone from killing, dozens of people in the congregation. So that's a bill that's finished its last committee stop, headed to the House floor. The NRA supports it, but the Dems are resisting this fiercely. And I don't understand why. I think this is good public policy. It's common sense, but we are going to get that across the finish line this session.
And again, just to emphasize what you said earlier, that every church can make the choice for themselves. Nobody is saying with this bill that they couldn't. If they decide that they don't want to have firearms in the church, then that is their decision. But to have this open and to have this available is what this is about.
Yeah, and let me tell you the real perverse irony with this. Under Florida law currently, if you have a church school, right, a school located on church property under the current law, it's actually illegal to have armed personnel in the school protecting those children. So, with the Guardian program, which allowed SROs in schools and allowed teachers to carry, you can't do that in these church schools. So we've created this legal anomaly where it's actually illegal to carry a firearm to protect these kids in these church schools. So that's wrong. We need to undo that, and we need to give citizens the ability to protect themselves in church.
All right, Representative Spencer Roach joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Listen, I appreciate a few minutes. Let's keep this up through sessions so we can keep everybody aware of what is happening and what you're watching and what you're co-sponsoring. And certainly it's good stuff. So we appreciate a few minutes. I'll speak to you soon, my friend. Thanks so much.
Have a great day, Drew. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. I give you the number right now because it is time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD right now. Caller, let's do caller number 5 right now. We'll do that again. Caller 5 at 239-479-5592. Call right now. You will play Drew's College next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, and there's Sabrina Katz, so she has traffic.
Traffic is backed up from the crash at 41 in Alico. It is at a creep and crawl. If you're heading south of 6 Mile, avoid this. Stick to Michael G. Rip Parkway. Still seeing that crash in Lehigh as well at Lee Boulevard and Westgate. Bumper-to-bumper slowdowns here. If you're heading westbound towards Alvin Avenue, trying to commute out of Lehigh, Lee Boulevard not the place to be. Stick to Leonard or State Road 82. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock. Temperatures warm up this afternoon to close to 80 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele visiting with my friend TJ, owner of the Floormeisters in Naples, where if you're talking Core-Tech, you're talking Floormeisters. And the one thing that I love, TJ, is when we're talking about pricing, you got to be straight up with the pricing, right?
Yep, we buy more Core-Tech every day so we can sell it to you cheaper. I buy it by the pallet, by the truckload, so you're making sure you always get the lowest price possible. We keep it here in our 15,000 square foot store. Big selection, big, beautiful showroom to make sure your wife gets exactly what you want, Drew.
Yeah, and how about me? You know, I like to get what I want as well. And also, of course, the color selection, right? You got some new ones.
Got 100 colors right now, and we're adding about 10 to 15 from Core-Tech that just came out for 2021.
So you want to see it for yourself? Go to the Floormeisters. You're going to really love it. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Give them a call, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
We invite you to visit United Fidelity Bank Banking Center located at 14241 Metro Parkway in Fort Myers, and let us help you save it, grow it, and enjoy it with our market-leading 12-month CD earning 0.55% APY. Shop and compare rates, and then invest with United Fidelity Bank's 12-month CD that earns 0.55% APY. The difference is United Fidelity Bank. A penalty may be imposed for early withdrawal. Annual percentage yield current as of 3/17/2021. This minimum deposit of $1,000 required to open CD. 12-month CD renews automatically.
Hi, doctor.
So how are you feeling?
With Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, be seen by your Millennium healthcare provider in the comfort of your home from your computer, smartphone, or tablet. So good to see you. Call your Millennium doctor's office or 844-CALL-MPG to request a virtual visit with the care team who knows you best.
I'll talk to you soon.
Millennium's telehealth service, MPG Connect. Your doctor, your device, your connection to a healthier life.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, what is that beautiful SUV? I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, how much does it cost? I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines and rear and all-wheel drive. But that's not all. New 2021 Genesis G70s have 0% financing and 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. And we have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com.
All offers with approved credit on select models. Season on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months and $0 per month per 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right. Let's go to John. John is in Port Charlotte. Good morning, John. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
You know, I'm doing. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. I am doing. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. All right, he's ready to go. All right, let's do your associate's degree question right now. You, John, know the 2 parts of the United States Congress, right? If I ask you the 2 parts of Congress, you would say?
House of Representatives and the Senate.
That is correct, sir. All right, he almost seems disappointed that I asked such an easy question. All right, let's see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. Hey, do you remember who was president of the United States in the year 1975? Who was that was president before Jimmy Carter?
Oh. Boom.
Boom.
Johnson?
No, it's Gerald Ford. Remember Gerald Ford?
Oh, Ford. Gerald Ford, yes.
That guy. Yep, that guy. All right, well, let's see.
It's too old for me.
I'm so sorry. That's not going to help you. All right, well, let's work on this. You should know it anyway. Could you imagine if every kid said, I'm not old enough to know these questions in history. How do I know who the first president of the United States was? All right.
I know. And I should know. I'm a Tea Party guy.
Oh, boy. All right. So, all right. Speaking of the Tea Party, the original Tea Party, when people talk about the Tea Party, where did it take place? You know, not the 2010. Yeah. When we talk
Boston.
Boston. Okay, very good. All right, there you go. Give him a bachelor's for that one in Boston. All right, let's see. Let's do this one for your master's degree question. Can you tell me right now as we speak, how many Supreme Court justices do we have? How many are there?
9.
That is correct, sir. All right, good job there. Nice comeback, John, in Port Charlotte. Congratulations. You got yourself a master's degree today on Drew's College. Very impressive. And where are you going today? What are you doing? Anything great, special, awesome that we should all know about and share?
Well, I enjoy listening to you guys in the morning, and I like the skit this morning on the Hr1. And you know, the centralization of power is something we all should be worried about.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to know. I just want to know what you were doing, but that's good.
Well,
but no, I'm just saying, if you're going to work, you're kind of hanging around, you're just listening to the radio.
No, I'm working. I've been in the private sector since I'm 11, so excellent. I continue to work after almost being 60 now. So
wow. All right. Well, we love it. All right, John. Yeah. Listen, we appreciate you in Port Charlotte. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the call. Call anytime. We appreciate it. All right. 239-479-5592, by the way, is the number.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. Some of the biggest advertising air conditioning companies locally are not really local. They're part of national and international conglomerates, and you're just another number on the bottom line. At Kobe Cooling, we live right here. Our children and grandchildren live right here. We sponsor your kids' sports teams, local scholarships, local food banks, and all kinds of local organizations. We're not for sale now, and we never will be. The Kobe family started Kobe Cooling, we run it, and we even run service calls too. So when you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Local families serving local families. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
When you're running a business, you don't have time to worry about slow internet or confusing cybersecurity. So get fast, reliable internet from Comcast Business on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. You can add the advanced security of Comcast Business Security Edge to help eliminate threats. And enjoy the peace of mind that comes with knowing 24/7 support is just a phone call away. Get fast internet and advanced security made simple so you can bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with an amazing offer from Comcast Business. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution for $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Plus, ask how to add Comcast Business Security Edge. Call 1-800-501-6000 today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Security Edge available when added to Comcast Business Internet for additional monthly charge. Call for details.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
They ran for their lives. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I was near the front of a stampede that just headed out.
He and other shoppers rushed out the back loading dock of a Boulder, Colorado supermarket being shot up by a gunman now in custody.
My heart goes out to the victims of this incident.
Police Chief Maris Harold.
And I'm grateful for the police officers that responded. And I am so sorry about the loss of Officer Tally.
He was shot, the first one on the scene.
Now, we're hoping to learn more about the 9 other innocent people who were killed in this shooting. Those names haven't been released because authorities say they're still working to contact family members of those 9 other people who died. We don't know the name of the suspected shooter, but we do know he was given some medical attention.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Boulder. AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine, not approved here yet, is getting further scrutiny. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has an update live.
Dave, in an overnight statement, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease says it's, quote, concerned that AstraZeneca's U.S. trial results may have used outdated information. The Data and Safety Monitoring Board says that may have given an incomplete view of the vaccine's effectiveness. An AstraZeneca spokesman says they're looking into it. Yesterday, AstraZeneca reported that its vaccine was 79% effective at preventing symptomatic cases of COVID-19, including in older adults. The company also said it was 100% effective in preventing severe COVID-19 illness and hospitalization, and aims to apply with the FDA for an emergency use authorization in the coming weeks. Dave.
Tanya, President Biden will go to Ohio today, touting the COVID financial aid package and Obamacare health coverage. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Brussels for talks.
The United States wants to rebuild our partnerships, first and foremost, with our NATO allies.
America's listening to Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is backed up from the crash at 41 in Alico. It is at a creep and crawl. If you're heading south of 6 Mile, avoid this. Stick to Michael G. Ripp Parkway. Still seeing that crash in Lehigh as well at Lee Boulevard and Westgate. Bumper to bumper slowdowns here. If you're heading westbound towards Alvin Avenue, trying to commute out of Lehigh, Lee Boulevard not the place to be. Stick to Leonard or State Road 82. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, across Southwest Florida, we're going to warm up notably, going from the 50s this morning to the 80s by the second half of today. You'll surely see more sunshine here on Tuesday, especially compared to what we had over the weekend. But looking ahead to temperatures close to 90 as we wrap up the work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. If you're thinking about buying new windows, consider New South. And don't even think about hiring a middleman until you see what our factory can do for you. New South windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers.
Going on now, save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
Your home is more important now than ever before. So when your air conditioner needs maintenance, repair, or replacing, Conditioned Air wants to be your first and only call. The Florida weather can be challenging. When you have a cooling issue, our team is here to resolve it quickly and efficiently. You can be assured of honesty, respect, and our desire to exceed your expectations every single time, and we've been doing that since 1962. Conditioned Air, 1-888-COLD-AIR, or online at conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
What's better than getting the full original MSRP for your trade-in? How about winning $2,500? Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. We've partnered with our friends down the road at South Street Restaurant to present you with the Just for Kicks $2,500 giveaway. To participate, just head on over to South Street Restaurant and guess how many basketballs are in the all-new 2021 Nissan Kicks we have displayed there. It's that easy. While you're there, tell them Naples Nissan sent you to get a half-off pizza and buy one, get one free on select drinks. Come see us at Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for your trade-in. Then head on over to South Street Restaurant in your new ride to enter the Just for Kicks giveaway for your chance to win $2,500. We're both right here on Pine Ridge Road. Visit naplesnissan.com for full details. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Your new home is calling you to live the good life, starting now. River Hall is where it all starts, a true paradise. River Hall is one of the Gulf Coast's most exclusive master-planned communities, where country club living meets the casual, barefoot Florida lifestyle. River Hall's Davis Love III Championship Golf Course is one of the top-rated courses in the Gulf Coast area, and you'll love River Hall's private oasis pools, bike paths, fitness center, tennis and bocce courts, and more. Live large with homes priced from just the 500s to the 800s from Pulte. The Pulte collection of breezy, open floor plans offers something for every lifestyle, with upscale finishes and features designed for elegant, gracious living. Here's to finally finding the perfect place. Here's to home. River Hall is just 20 minutes east of Fort Myers in the River Shores District. Come see model homes now. Visit liveriverhall.com. That's liveriverhall.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. DREWSTEELE.com. That's the website. It's mobile friendly, basic, simple, right to the point. You can watch on your phone. You can watch on your smart device. You can watch on your computer. And, of course, if you want to go to Facebook, yeah, that's fine. It's at Drew Steele Radio. That's okay. All right, I want to have a conversation right now with Mandy Merritt. She's joining us right now on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, GOP National Press Secretary, and apparently, according to her Twitter account, fan of dogs, Ohio, and the Oxford comma. Mandy, we're going to battle over the Oxford comma. Hold on a second, Mandy Merritt. Hold on a second. Jake's a millennial. My producer's looking at me right now. He's like, "What's the Oxford comma?" That is quite. I noticed that right away because that's one of those things. Like even with my wife, I do battle with. She's like, "Put that in there." I'm like, "Do I really put that?" No, really, put it in. How are you, Mandy?
People have strong opinions about it.
Yeah, see, well, that's what we battle about in my house. We don't battle about anything else. It's really just no, that's not really true. First of all, thanks for joining us. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, Drew. How are you?
I'm okay. Listen, I'm trying to laugh and make light after what I heard yesterday, and I'm going to play this audio, and I want you to comment on this because, you know, there's really nothing going on, apparently, along our southern border that we have to be concerned about. If you're listening to the Vice President of the United States landing in the state of Florida, pitching something that's already been passed, which is a whole other subject. We can get into that in just a second. But in case you missed it, here's the Vice President talking about the border and whether or not she would visit.
Do you plans to visit the border? Not today.
Yeah, that's there's nothing really to laugh at. What were your thoughts the minute you heard that?
Oh, absolutely. It's just so wrong that she is laughing while there is a border crisis that is accelerating at a rapid pace. And make no mistake, it is Biden's border crisis. His policies, the Biden administration's policies, are directly contributing to the surge of illegal immigration that is at our southern border. And Kamala Harris is laughing about it. They're refusing to recognize the crisis. They keep denying to use that word, the crisis term. But there absolutely is a crisis. We are seeing a record number of migrant children and teens in Border Patrol facilities. Biden's own DHS secretary said that we are on pace to encounter more individuals on the southwest border than we have in the last 20 years. And keep in mind, this is all during a pandemic. So there are concerns about coronavirus outbreak in these overcrowded facilities, how we're testing these folks as they come back into the country or out of the country. We don't really know. And this is absolutely a large influx of people that could contribute to the spread of the coronavirus. And it's absolutely shameful that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are refusing to even recognize what is going on at the border.
Yeah, and they don't have right now, it appears, a media that can protect them when they're not even given access to have a drive along or ride along at the border or to be able to see these facilities for themselves. We have Democrats right along the border, Texas Democrats, as a matter of fact, one in particular, who is even calling out the fact that there are these issues at these facilities, photos that we all have been able to see now of how awful the conditions are. There's no denying what is there, and there's little, if any, protection that a willing media could give to any of this. And that's another big problem for the administration, right?
It is, and especially when they're used to having the media on their team in a lot of ways. But we really can't ignore what's going on here, but they're trying to cover it up. They have a media blackout when they're going to the border, when Senator Ted Cruz is trying to go down the border, and they said that he was not allowed to bring media down. The DHS secretary was not allowing media down. And that is just absolutely wrong. The media does deserve to see what's going on there so they can report back. And you're right about these Texas Democrats. We have so many Democrats that are sounding the alarm at what is going on at the border, saying that Biden needs to change his policies, that his policies are directly contributing to what is going on. I mean, there are people wearing shirts that say, Biden, please let us in. Yep. And this is because he immediately stopped construction of the border wall. He stopped the Remain in Mexico policy. He signaled a willingness to let people come in without any consequences. So, of course, people are going to send their children there. They're going to contribute to the coronavirus. They're going to contribute to dangerous things that could have activity for criminal organizations, for gangs. All of these things are creating a crisis at the border. And the Biden and Harris administration is more concerned about trying to pull the wool over voters' eyes by selling this boondoggle of a Cronus bill than really addressing what is going on at the border.
Oh boy, don't even get me started on that. You know, of course, the fact that she's in the state of Florida coming here to say, and one of her tweets, what was the tweet from yesterday? It's like, hey, Florida, help is here. So she's here. She's getting off the plane. She's like, nobody asked for the help. We've been doing pretty well in the state of Florida, to be quite honest with you, Mandy, and you know.
Guys have been doing. You have a great governor.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we do. Yeah. And so, you know, and people see that. And again, when you talk about something that's already passed that you're trying to push and do all of these things to try to say, hey, we brought this to you. Obviously, it's all they have right now when you still have the crisis. And make no mistake, again, and I'm going to play this little clip of audio and we can talk to this specifically as well. Make no mistake about whose crisis this is. When Mandy Merritt, who's joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, GOP National Press Secretary, when she says it's Biden's border crisis, there's a reason why it is, especially when you consider that it was, a year and a half ago, I think was the time period, as during the primaries, when Joe Biden, let's refresh everybody's memory, said this.
What I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
There's no, that is straightforward. There's no mincing the words. There's no taking out of context. That's pretty straightforward, Mandy, right there, of what he would like to see happen, which is exactly what is happening, especially for those that are coming and now have a game plan. If you want to know what the game plan is to get into the country, it appears as if that's what you do. You just claim asylum and there you go.
Right. Instead of working with Republicans and Democrats in Congress, Biden has proposed this radical immigration agenda that only moves us closer to open borders, which is why we're seeing this surge at the border. This plan, that includes amnesty for 11 million migrants living in the U.S. It includes eliminating restrictions on chain migrations. Like I mentioned, he stopped construction of the border wall. Right. All of these things that he's doing, he's trying to appease his far left base, his special interest groups, than keeping our nation safe, let alone at all times, but especially during a pandemic.
Yeah. And, I'm going to mention this before I ask you a question about the $1.9 trillion that, it's interesting how somebody says it's a COVID relief plan when only like 9% of it is really COVID relief and 91% isn't, which is like saying that a beef stick is 9% beef. And then the 91% is like parts that we don't even want to describe. I don't know how you call that a beef stick, but that's a whole other subject. I'll get to that in just a second.
I like that metaphor.
Go, yeah, and you can use that, and you can use that. And not only, and you can use this as a matter of fact, and I'm going to bring up this point, and I want you to comment on this because I think this is critical. This is how dangerous this administration is. This is how radical this administration is. And I'm going to make this point, and I want you to comment on this, and it's this. The media is claiming right now that they don't have the transparency that they thought they were going to get out of this administration, especially what's happening along the border. They're not able to see what's going on. A media that has been on this administration and Democrats' side since day one, and all of a sudden now they're complaining because they don't have the transparency as if they deserve it or we're all on the same team. Doesn't it speak to how radical this administration is? That they're even willing to throw a media under the bus, if you will, because they want this agenda pushed, even if it means bringing in COVID-positive illegals into the country, even if it means this rush along the border, even if they know that this president has in the past talked about this, because they know that, and I'll say it, that the media is useful when they need them, and they'll use them when they need them, and throw them away when they don't, because they know they'll continue to come back. And this is just a demonstration of that. They're useful to them. I don't want to use the word idiots because that's not fair, because you don't want to paint the broad brush. But useful. Do you see what I'm saying? And how dangerous that is, that even for those that they see are on their side, they're willing to not be transparent with.
You're exactly right. And he did. He claimed that he would be transparent throughout the campaign trail. But what have we seen so far? He has yet to hold even a press conference. It's been over 60 days, and he has yet to hold a press conference. And every day that he goes without one, he sets a new modern record, a record that you don't want to have. It's a record for being, anti-transparent. And this week, the Biden White House did say he's going to hold one on March 25th, but to even announce the press conference a week and a half, to have so much time to prepare a script, his remarks, it really is crazy. He's refusing to answer the question. His time in office has been marked by terrible policy, mismanagement, contradiction with his own press secretary at many times, and he's still cowering from the public eye. And people can say, the media can say all they want about President Trump, and we know that they did at every turn, but they never were able to say he didn't give them access. President Trump would always come out, right, answer the tough questions, talk directly to the American people, and Joe Biden has shown a complete unwillingness to do that. And Kamala Harris, even yesterday with that quote-unquote tough question about visiting the border, she laughed instead of actually addressing it and giving a straight answer.
Yeah, it's that weird, uncomfortable laugh that did not endear her when she was running for president, if people remember that. It was that awkward kind of weird, almost condescending, like I'm avoiding you kind of laugh that has that always had people concerned. But now she's here and trying to tout the the COVID stimulus package and the relief and everything else going on. But I'm also concerned about the more trillions of dollars that this administration is getting ready to spend as well. It seems like, Mandy, they have a formula, and it's this, that we're going to take this little tiny bit, a little nugget of truth and something that we want to pass, whether it's COVID relief or infrastructure. Hey, listen, President Trump, he was talking infrastructure too, right? So how could you be against this, knowing full well that there's this much, my fingers are thinly spread apart right now, this much that's in there about that. And the rest of it is going to be things that are going to fundamentally destroy this country and put our kids and grandkids in a position that we would never want them to be in, but yet they're willing to do it. They've figured out this formula. You tease it just enough to make it look like it's something that it's not, and then that's how it gets passed.
You're exactly right. And that's exactly what we're seeing with this boondoggle of this COVID relief bill. You mentioned earlier, only 9% of this nearly $2 trillion package goes to directly fighting COVID. And that other 91%, what's in that? Well, let's see. We've got $2 billion in checks that go to inmates, people in prison, people like the Boston Marathon bomber are getting $1,400. And Democrats refused to take that out of the bill when Republicans tried. So we have $2 billion towards that. We have $350 billion for a blue state bailout. We've got pension bailouts. We've got millions of dollars to going to humanities, arts, and museums. And no way are any of these things, one, being spent, in the short term to help the economy, but also being to fight COVID. Only 1% of this bill goes towards vaccine distribution. Something that is so crucially important right now is getting our schools reopened. There is no requirement in this bill that the funding that schools got, that they even have to be spent this fiscal year, or there's no requirement that schools open in order to use this money. So, it shows where Biden's priorities are, and they're not with the American people.
Yeah, there's no doubt. All right, Mandy Merritt, GOP National Press Secretary, joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right, so beef stick. Use the beef stick. Take it, run with it. You don't even have to give me credit. You don't even have to give me credit, Mandy. That's how I feel about you, okay? Just take it and run with it. I'm cool with it. All right. Hopefully we'll do this again.
Drew. It was great being on.
All right. We'll see you soon. All right. All the best. Thanks so much. All right. 239-479-5592. It is Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We'll get to some more audio. Jen Psaki spit in circles.
I'll circle back.
She's got to circle back. So how did she circle back this time? Oh, it just keeps coming. It just keeps happening. And it just keeps circling back. We'll get to that audio in just a bit. It has to do with the border and what a mess. But again, that's the fundamental thing that I think you have to take away from this about the media. If you didn't hear my point before, I'll make it again coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along traffic, here's Sabrina Katz.
Traffic is backed up from the crash at 41 in Alico. It is at a creep and crawl. If you're heading south of 6 Mile, avoid this. Stick to Michael G. Rip Parkway. Still seeing that crash in Lehigh as well at Lee Boulevard and Westgate. Bumper to bumper slowdowns here. If you're heading westbound towards Alvin Avenue, trying to commute out of Lehigh, Lee Boulevard not the place to be. Stick to Leonard or State Road 82. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock. Temperatures warm up this afternoon to close to 80 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Steve.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
How many client portfolios is your investment advisor responsible for? Is yours one of hundreds? Or perhaps your financial institution has just been acquired by yet another firm, and the team you've known for years is suddenly gone. At the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company and its division, the Naples Trust Company, our portfolio management team is local and care for a proper ratio of account relationships designed to give you the highest possible attention and an asset allocation that is best for you and your goals. Another key factor is that all of our employees are owners in the trust company through an employee stock ownership plan. So we have no interest in being acquired, and more importantly, we have a vested interest in seeing our clients as happy as we are. Are you ready for a better experience? Contact us at the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company or the Naples Trust Company Visit sandcaptrustco.com to discover the difference.
Not FDIC insured. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
True relief for back and neck pain. Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
Everyone is watching how their brackets are playing out during March Madness on Wink TV, except Dish Network subscribers. Dish has locked their subscribers out from watching the NCAA playoffs on Wink. Subscribers no longer have all of the programming they pay for. Don't get caught playing games with Dish. You can watch the games on all the other TV providers. Take action now to watch your favorite teams, Wink News, and CBS.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Every single I was dotted, every T was crossed.
It took us scrambling to get everything we had, our life savings, put it together. We own the house outright, and it's our house.
Just draining emotionally and financially.
It's genuinely unfathomable to me that we live in a state where something like this is even possible.
Have it fall under a COVID tenant situation of no evictions when it doesn't fall under that at all. This transaction went through in January 2020 before any of that.
Nothing to see here. Everything is fine. Last year, a couple in Riverside, California, they cashed out their life savings to buy a house. $560,000. They didn't even have enough. They had to get and borrow more to get enough cash because the person who sold the house said they wanted cash. They wanted this sold right away. They did anything and everything that they could to get this dream home, right? Turns out now that they still haven't moved into the house that they owned. It's paid for, their house, because the previous owner is squatting and won't leave, and they can't get rid of him because of a loophole in the COVID eviction bans. COVID evictions, you can't kick somebody out of their home. It's not a renter. It's not a landlord situation. They bought the house from this individual more than a year after buying the house on January 31st, 2020, and they have yet to be able to get inside the property. The person who used to own it isn't leaving, and there's nothing that they can do. Can you imagine? How did we... I don't even know what would you do? What would you do? I'm looking at Jake. Jake is like, what would you do, Jake? You don't even want to say.
I can't say.
Yeah, you can't say what you're thinking.
We're in Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I'd do.
All right. Let's see. You'd bring a bushel full of oranges over or something like that. Yeah, that is very kind. You lead them out of the house with oranges. Ooh, good. All right. Top 5 audio clips of the day coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Water everywhere. You can't swim in it. You can't stand drinking it. Heck, it's so bad it's on the news every day. Hi,
I'm Rob Hill from Bob Hill Plumbing. We've invested over 66 years here in Naples, bringing you clean, drinkable water for your home or condo. We realize we can't fix the water problems everywhere, but we can definitely clean up the water inside your home. Our government does their best to deliver safe water for use. But wow, who wants chlorinated yellow water at every faucet? Let us install a Halo home filtration system and remove all the bad taste, color, and odor from your water. Halo removes 99% of all chlorine, ammonia, and all the bad-tasting chemicals in our municipal water system. Call Bob Hill Plumbing today and let us install a Halo water system in your home so you can once again enjoy clean, bottle-quality water at every faucet. Bob Hill Plumbing. Let me be your plumbing guy.
To schedule service, call Bob Hill Plumbing at 262-6119 or bobhillplumbing.com.
Whether you're searching for your next home, browsing for decorating ideas, or just looking for an enjoyable afternoon out and about, don't miss the 2021 Collier Building Industry Association Parade of Homes, March 19th to 21st and March 26th to 28th, for 2 weekends filled with delightful tours of Naples, Bonita Springs, and Estero's premier communities. Join the parade and find your dream home. Look for the 8-page Parade of Homes insert in Collier Citizen and Naples Daily News, March 19th and March 26th. For more information, visit paradeofhomesnaples.com.
Keeping your home and business cool is a struggle, but now you can be the insider on how it all works and how to keep it running when the heat is on. Join Matt and Justin from Island Air right here on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. for the Island Air Hour, providing quick and effective solutions for commercial and residential air conditioning and heating systems. If you have a question about your system, you can call us right now at 239-747-1550, and we'll be glad to help. Serving Southwest Florida since 1972.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Hey, it's me. Just wanted to reach out after yesterday's video call. You mentioned your friends going through a hard time right now. I wanted to recommend an app you should download. It's the How We Reach coaching tool. It's got tips on, how to reach out to friends or family members who are struggling. So it's great that you're there for your friend. I really think this tool will help you give them the support they need. So let me know if you want to talk.
Download the tool on reach.gov today.
I'm Chris Foster. People ran or hid during a shooting at a supermarket in Boulder, Colorado. A suspect seen being taken away is a middle-aged white man. No word why he may have done it.
10 people in all were killed by the lone suspected shooter, who police say was eventually arrested. One of those 10 who died, Officer Eric Talley, who was the first to get on scene. He was 51 years old, a father of 7 kids.
Fox's Jeff Paul. It's the 7th mass killing this year in the United States. The Biden administration has officials in Mexico and Central America for meetings about the surge of migrants coming to our southern border.
Officials say they're trying to get at the causes of migration, like promoting job creation. The administration also says it's running a campaign featuring thousands of radio ads in Brazil and in the Northern Triangle. That's El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala, telling would-be migrants to scrap their travel north.
Fox's Rich Edson. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News Traffic.
Traffic is backed up from the crash at 41 in Alico. It is at a creep and crawl. If you're heading south of 6 Mile, avoid this. Stick to Michael G. Rip Parkway. Still seeing that crash in Lehigh as well at Lee Boulevard and Westgate. Bumper-to-bumper slowdowns here. If you're heading westbound towards Alvin Avenue, trying to commute out of Lehigh, Lee Boulevard not the place to be. Stick to Leonard or State Road 82. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, across Southwest Florida, we're going to warm up notably, going from the 50s this morning to the 80s by the second half of today. You'll surely see more sunshine here on Tuesday, especially compared to what we had over the weekend. But looking ahead to temperatures close to 90 as we wrap up the work week. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, it's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. They say love and passion makes the world go round. Love for home, family, your country, partner, a friend, and love for food. Stevie wants to be part of your love with our food, drink, sports, and fun. Our passion for your satisfaction brings our love to all of our great customers. Whether it's our brisket short rib burgers, Chicago pizza, fajitas, wings, fish fry, or ribs, it's delivered to your table with love. So at Stevie's, we invite you to share our love of great food, drinks, sports, and fun. You'll never get bored or broke. We feel loved by the sound of our great customers. We promise to treat you like family at your home away from home. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomatoes sports page. Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
Stevie Tomatoes sports page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want more of your hard-earned dollars going to the government, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, the president's tax cuts, they may be on the way out, and it's not just your income taxes that could go up. That's why you should call my friend Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group. Call now, 239-747-1163.
Investment advisory services offered through Townsend Advisory Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Florida.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit MoranWM.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
See why homeowners and contractors choose Rock Solid for the finest countertops. Now with our newly expanded showroom, making your home improvement experience even better.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Stay right, 92.5 Fox News. My name is Drew Steele. His name right over there, as you can see clearly if you... Not clearly, because we got to fix the camera. DrewSteele.com, the website. It's Jake the Millennial. He's sitting right there. And what? I can kind of fix it like from here, but yeah, it's getting a little twisted around and stuff.
I'm so curious as why it keeps moving.
Yeah, why does the camera keep moving? It's a stationary camera. All right, it's DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's if you want to watch. Don't watch the go to the website if you want to watch. But as far as Jake and being on camera, there he is. There he goes. Okay, it's that quick. That's all. You missed it. So. All right, top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. It's a 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to MoranWM.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
So
Also, you are opening up new facilities. One of the options that's being reported over the weekend is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for some migrants and feeding them. How do you square that with the National Guard troops who were sleeping in parking garages and, some of them got sick from having contaminated food? That's a disparity a lot of people are pointing out, that our National Guard was treated one way and then illegal immigrants are going to be put in hotel rooms.
Well, first, let me say that at the time when we became aware of the conditions, National Guard troops were in parking garages, as you noted. The president called the head of the National Guard that day and offered his assistance, offered to play any role that he could play, boosting morale, asking for more aid.
Okay. Jen Psaki yesterday being asked, hey, just a quick question, $86 million illegals in hotels, and they get hotels and meals and everything else, and the National Guard that was there had to sleep in parking garages, and actually some of the food made them sick, and what about that? And pretty much the answer for Jen Psaki is, but those are illegals.
Number 4.
So you're saying the NCAA threatened you, and you don't think you can win that fight. They said, if you sign this, we won't allow girls in South Dakota to play, and you don't think you can win in court, even though the public overwhelmingly supports you nationally, and so you're caving to the NCAA. I think that's what you're saying.
No, that's not right at all, Tucker. In fact, you're wrong completely.
Okay.
I've been working on this issue for years. In fact, several years ago, I fought USDA to make sure that 4-H rodeo and that the sport of rodeo could keep girls' events, and boys' events. So I've been working on this for many, many years. And back since November, I've been consulting with legal scholars and professors across the country, asking them, how do I protect women's sports? And they've gone through the steps to how I would legally challenge the NCAA and keep them from bullying the state of South Dakota. And what they've told me to do is that I need to build a coalition.
Okay, so she's building a coalition. So interestingly enough, that is Kristi Noem and Tucker Carlson, and boy, what a back and forth. Tucker Carlson is not having any part of it. And it appears as if there was a backing away of Kristi Noem, who you have two choices here. She's not signing a bill barring transgender women from women's sports in South Dakota. Her idea was that, well, listen, we're going to lose in court, according to legal scholars. And so we're just going to have, a website or something, and we're going to just show people that through emails that we're really mad about this and we're tired of it and we're not going to take it anymore. And Tucker Carlson is saying, well, why don't you fight? We're looking for fighters. Shouldn't we be fighting this issue? Shouldn't we go and shouldn't you sign this? And let's see whether or not it'll hold up in court instead of listening to others who it almost feels as if are not looking at you with the best interest in mind. Almost it feels like you're caving and there are people that are on your side and you're not signing this. This is an interesting back and forth, and maybe we'll dig in more in just a bit.
Number 3.
Before I let you go, just real quickly, most presidents, ex-presidents like yourself, do not weigh in at this level. Why did you feel like you needed to on this issue?
Well, you called me. I didn't call you, in all fairness.
Sorry, that's funny to me. That was on Harris Faulkner yesterday, talking about the crisis along the border and the former President Donald Trump on the show. And after having the discussion about it, and she asks him, hey, why did you decide to chime in on this? And he's like, hey, listen, you called me. Call you. Sorry, that's just good.
Number 2.
Do you plan to visit the border? Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
Yeah, nothing to see here. That's the Vice President Harris here flies into Jacksonville because, Florida, and we need to talk about the $1.9 trillion not-so-stimulus rescue COVID package dealio, and 9% of it is going to COVID relief, and the rest of it's going to who knows what, destroying the country, maybe. And she flies in, and when asked, hey, shouldn't you be maybe over to the border? Why don't you go visit the border? And she's like, not today. Not right now. I'm a little busy right now. I'm here talking about something that's already passed. I don't even know why, really, but maybe it's to avoid the issue of the border. But I'll get there eventually. Don't you worry about it. I'll be there.
Number one.
The larger story here that may not be addressed today, but is one that we have to address in light of what happened in Atlanta, which is, are we facing a spring and summer of mass casualty events as we come out, as people congregate? And that is something that the Biden White House will have to address as well.
Juliet, how can that be? How can it be that after a year of basic quarantine in the country, the first thing we do as Americans is go back to mass shootings? I mean, how can that be?
I'm not suggesting that CNN is sick and twisted, but after listening to that clip, it's hard to dispute that fact.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
I just want you to realize what you just heard. On the heels of 10 dead in Boulder, Colorado, a horrific shooting, a horrific situation in Colorado, where you had the Boulder police chief who was talking last night and saying, listen, it could take days before we find out more about the shooter. It's a complex investigation that we have to find out about. An awful scene. If you've been on social media, you've probably watched videos and heard and seen and the conditions there and the discussion about what happened. And so in light of this, trying to let this breathe a little bit to figure out the details on something that is evil and horrific that we all understand is that way. This morning, Allison Camerata on CNN has guests on, one of which, who's a national security analyst, a former Obama administration analyst, who goes on the program to make the claim that we're facing a spring and summer, and we have to ask the questions, are we going to face a spring and summer of mass casualty events? Really? Is that what you want to project? And then Allison Camerata saying, how could this be? A year of basic quarantine in the country. The first thing we want to do as Americans is go back to mass shootings. How can that be? I mean, that's really, that's awful. That's really awful. Can't wait. Can't get information. Can't talk about how horrific it is. And as we get more information, we'll find out more. No, we have to project. We have to start talking like it's awful. It's sick. It's twisted, and it's wrong. It's just wrong. I want to go back to some of the other things that were that I brought up this morning in some of the audio clips because they need a little more context and detail. The first one is the back and forth between Tucker Carlson and Kristi Noem. Listen, Kristi Noem, no doubt about it, 2024 presidential candidate on the GOP side. She is definitely a candidate that is surging, no doubt. And if Trump doesn't run and decides not to, she is somebody that has been discussed, talked about for weeks and months. We know that. The South Dakota House Bill 2017, which bans biological males from participating in women's high school sports, and she didn't sign it because in the present form, she didn't believe. I guess she was told that it wouldn't hold up in court. And so instead, to get a coalition of people together on a website, an email saying that we want something done about this, and that's how the change is going to happen. And that was the clip where she was on Tucker Carlson, and he's like, listen, you're not fighting for us. We're looking for a fighter. We're looking for somebody who understands that this is a problem. You should sign this bill. And is that what's happening? The NCAA threatened you and you decided that you couldn't win the fight. And so because they threatened, you backed off. Now there's two sides to the story. One is Kristi Noem's side that says, look, we don't have a lot of that situation happening here now. And the fact is that in South Dakota, if this were to happen and we were to lose in court, then there would be individuals that would lose possibly the ability to play NCAA sports because of this decision. And then there's the other side that says, why are you listening to the NCAA threats? Why wouldn't you go to court? Many others are, and build a coalition that way. She was pretty honest in saying she was going to back down from the fight because it couldn't be won, and people are a little upset by that. So those are the two sides. She's either right or she's very wrong. It's either listen, we have to do this the right way because I want to win this battle, but I want to do it right. We want to play the long game instead of the short game, which is the easy fix, which is to sign this and then and say we did it, and then come to find out that ultimately we lose in court. Or there's the other side that says you don't know if you're going to lose anything, and the fight should be in court, and that you shouldn't listen to the NCAA and their threats, and that's Tucker's side. And I guess we'll find out more, but the issue then becomes Kristi Noem, and did she get dinged? A little bit of credibility getting dinged there, and some are suggesting that is the case, and some are saying no, that's not the case at all. But that's the two sides right now. Maybe your thoughts, 239-479-5592. The other side of it is Jen Psaki. Circle back girl.
I hate to disappoint you, but I will have to circle back with you on that as well. Circle back. Circle back.
Being asked by Peter Doocy yesterday, again, the border crisis. It's Biden's border crisis. Everybody knows it. The media knows it. The media doesn't get the transparency that they've been looking for. They can't go to the border. They can't do ride-alongs. They can't be there to specifically see what is happening at these border patrol facilities. And we come to find out that it takes Democrat border congressmen there in Texas, Democrats, to actually show photos and say, we got a problem here. There's trouble here. These cities are being overrun. There's problems here, and they have to be solved. Democrats even understand this. And Peter Doocy was asking about the surge, and he even said
2 years ago, President Biden said, we're a nation that says you want to flee and you're fleeing opposition, you should come. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. Now he says, I can say quite clearly, don't come over. So why was his position different campaigning than it is governing?
Now remember, he said that, right?
What I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
Right. And so Jen Psaki's answer to that is?
Well, I think that sometimes there's language that is used by some that is not including the full context of his comments. I will say that he still believes that he wants our country to be a place where there is asylum processing at the border, where people are considered and go through a proper process, who are fleeing prosecution, who should be considered for immigration status.
There you go.
I'll circle back.
It's the non-answer. It's the non-answer. It can be a non-answer. It has to be a non-answer. Sorry, a non-answer would be an answer. That's wrong. It's a non-answer. That's the non-answer from Jen Psaki, who is, well, maybe it is an answer. He's concerned about what's happening on the border. He's concerned about asylum seekers, and telegraphed to people that all you have to do, once again, is tell to come to the border and claim asylum, and that's how you get in, and that's how we remedy this. Again, as the administration is trying to bring back catch and release and trying to get everything so that movement along the border. Listen, the best way when there's a surge along the border to not have people, kids in cages, if you will, as we're starting to see, the best way to have kids not sleeping on the floor in these cages with these Mylar blankets, the best way to do it is to get them moving. Let's go. We got to get the process moving. And if you get the process moving, that's how you don't have to worry about some of the visuals that they don't want the media to see along the border. You see what I'm saying? Get them in. And it appears as if that's exactly what's happening. And it's not a good thing. But I brought this up earlier, and I think this is a point that you cannot dismiss, and it's this. And again, I'm going to circle back.
I'll circle back.
So will I. On the heels of, follow my lead here, on the heels of a threat to American democracy, a federal judge alleging that Democrats control almost all major news outlets, that a D.C. Circuit Court judge, one of the biggest stories of last week, some would say is huge, a Circuit Court judge outlining his opposition to the Supreme Court's key decision in 1964's New York Times versus Sullivan, which has since protected many media outlets from lawsuits. And how in his ruling, he said that the threat to American democracy is right there with the media, and it has to be overturned. The increased power of the press is so dangerous today because we are very close to one-party control of these institutions. Our court was once concerned about institutional consolidation of the press, leading to a bland and homogeneous marketplace of ideas. It turns out that ideological consolidation of the press is a far greater threat. Although the bias against the Republican Party, not just controversial individuals, is rather shocking today. This is not new. It's a long-term secular trend going back to at least the 70s. Two of the three most influential papers, at least historically, the New York Times and Washington Post, are virtually Democratic Party broadsheets. This is a D.C. Circuit Court judge saying this. At the news section of the Wall Street Journal leans the same direction. The orientation of these three papers is followed by the AP and most large papers across the country. The LA Times, the Miami Herald, the Boston Globe, and you could even make the case that there are local outlets that just rip and read. They don't do any journalism. They're just taking AP stories. They're taking LA Times stories. They're taking Miami Herald stories, and they're running with them because they're not going to do any work on their own. They're just rip and read. And nearly all television, network, and cable is the Democrat Party trumpet. This is a circuit court judge talking about the Supreme Court's decision that leads to protections of media outlets from lawsuits. He recognizes, like others recognize, what Democrats in the media and how they are, and how they are hand in hand, the two of them. And how this is dangerous, this influence is dangerous to our constitutional republic. This shouldn't be. Why am I bringing that up? Because I might make the case that in hearing this, if you will circle back.
I'll circle back.
Thank you very much. That I might make the case that Democrats know this as well. And radical Democrats know this. And radical Democrats who are running and pulling the strings in the White House know this. So what do they know? They know, just like you know, they don't have to show or worry about the media and transparency and the details of what's happening along the border. They don't even give them the opportunity to show up to even do their own spin. They do it because they know they'll come back. Doesn't matter. They're Democrats. They know that they can treat them any way they want to treat them because ultimately they're coming back. Can I make another case that would have to do with Democrats taking advantage of people that they know aren't going anyplace?
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You see what I'm saying? They're screaming about transparency, and they want transparency, and the media is shocked and appalled. How could this administration do this? Because if you're radical, you don't care about the media. You're going to do what you do because you want your end to be there. And the means maybe leaving the media out of it. They don't care because they want what they want. Because when you're radical and you're trying to destroy, you use everybody you can. And you don't care. And it's a shame. And we should recognize it at a lot of different levels. All right. Let's see what's going on with the remainder of our forecast with Wink News meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhis.
Watch out for some patchy, locally dense fog on the roadways this morning. Most of that should clear by about 9 o'clock. Temperatures warm up this afternoon to close to 80 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. I'm Wink News weather